I put everybody's butt looks great because it's true. They have the athletic pants on, and then you like start tacking on harnesses to that. I mean, I'm talking everybody's butt is immaculate, and it's not in a gratuitous way either. There's not like fucking close-up butt shots. It's just like athletic woman hind ends is just like it's like a commodity. It should be what our dollar is based on. You understand me?
Hello, Internet! Welcome back to the scariest hour. Friends of the paranormal, the only podcast where it is okay to hog every flashlight and bullseye lantern in the group. I'm Matt.
And I'm Zach.
Welcome to our episode on caves.
The caves!
The cave episode. Every show needs one.
I think every show of renown, even a little, has had a cave episode. I can't think of any specifically, but that's just because no show has been good enough.
No show's been worth a damn.
No show's been up to cave caliber.
The cave caliber.
Yeah.
Oh, man. For those who don't know, Scariest Hour is a show where me and Zach cover a topic in the horror or things to be scared of kind of ballpark.
Yeah.
We do independent research for about a week or two. We can group up, usually a couple movies each. One big main movie that I pick beforehand. And then we, hammer it out.
We watch the movie, we sit down, we scream into a microphone about it. Then we just kind of go home.
Yeah.
We just kind of go home after that. Released, Mm-hmm. Like a solid, like a dump.
Like a good
like a good dump.
a good dump.
A good dump.
A good dump.
Good dump is like I bet that's been a comic book onomatopoeia. Good dump.
Sure.
Had to be. Too satisfying.
We talked about caves.
We did. Well, we were talking about caves now.
Yeah,
we watched about caves.
We watched about caves. Yeah, we did. When I picked it, I didn't know this was going to be so, I guess, similar to urban exploration.
It's not that similar.
It's, you know what I mean.
I guess.
In the research.
I mean, there's definitely people in the dark with flashlights a lot.
I saw a lot of the
But
same scary pale monster hanging out in caves that I did.
A lot of rakes.
A lot of rigs.
A lot of rakes happening.
So many rigs.
Which isn't a bad thing.
But some cool stuff, too.
Sure.
This might be, sadly, might be a light one, just because with like movies kind of blew on this one.
There's maybe about 6 movies about caves.
Yep.
And most of them are Werner Herzog.
Yeah, a different kind of terror.
Yeah.
So what you know what? We'll start off right. What do you feel about caves?
What do I feel about caves?
Yeah, what's your spiritual connection to the cave?
Let me tell you something about caves. I don't know if I've ever been in a proper cave.
No?
I don't think so.
I have.
But also, I'm never like, man, I gotta get into a cave. It doesn't happen to me. It's one of them things where it's kind of like, and I'm kind of alone in this sentiment, but like when people talk about traveling the world and bullshit, I'm always just like, nah, I'm alright.
Yeah, I kind of.
But what about all the temples in Tibet and the Buddhist monasteries and stuff? I'm like, I don't care. I watch Mortal Kombat. I know what they look like. If I walk up to a monastery and there's not 30 dudes doing kung fu moves in unison, you're doing it wrong. It's just improper use of your temple.
I've been in a cave.
Yeah?
A couple. I mean, yeah.
I've been in a cave of the mind, a cave of the soul.
Well, yeah, where I'm from, up in New York, and like that whole that tri-state area,
Sure.
and we had family down in like Vermont.
Caves?
We had people all over the place. I think it was Vermont, but yeah, I've been in a cave. I went to the Bell Witch Cave.
Oh, did you?
Oh yeah,
Biggest cave system in the fucking world's in Kentucky.
dude.
Mammoth Cave?
Yeah. I mean, I've never been like diving in a cave or like really going hard.
Fuck that.
Yeah,
I'm not a water
not.
guy, man.
Yeah, no, not even that, but that too. Because they call.
Are you talking about like spelunking?
Yeah, I've never
Okay.
done that either. But yeah, no, those dudes that do underwater caves, that's like 3 extra like steps of terror.
You can kiss my pecker. I ain't going in there to do that.
No,
I said,
absolutely.
I'm a land animal, man. Spelunking is one thing because you get the gear, you get to rappel and stuff.
Sure.
But as far as like diving anything, I've never been compelled to do that at all.
You're just going out of your element 100%.
You're just where you don't belong, and that's where shit kills you.
But are
Fuck
you
caves.
Are you? Yeah. Fuck. I mean, mostly.
All
I like
right,
them.
I'm
I like
just
them. They're fine.
That's whatever.
I think they're neat.
Batman lives in
I
one.
like caves more than I like climbing up stuff. But I have a
Sure.
weird thing where, I guess it's like a type of vertigo. But if I I can't look straight up. Like I lose all balance. Like
I think you told me this before.
Yeah, my brain just like tells the rest of my body that like, hey, there's nothing up there, so there's nothing underneath you, so we're just dead. Yeah, and I start turning off. Yeah, I can't do it. Even on like swings, if I like go like, if it just becomes empty sky, I have like a weird.
See, that's my
shutdown.
favorite. I do love me a good void. I
Sure.
will say that. But as far as like, I don't know. I think claustrophobia is kind of an issue about it.
That's not fun. No,
I don't like being cooped up.
Sure.
You know?
Especially when you're like also restrained by the living rock.
Yes, dude. Not fun. At all.
But do you have are you like scared of caves? Because caves are like a really interesting thing just because people have like such a weird spiritual connection with caves a lot.
Sure.
There's a lot of that like, they're naturally mysterious. They're like fucking scary holes that just suck you in. And people just go into them and they never come out.
Gross.
Gross.
It's true.
Like,
They do. I mean, look, I don't think I'm not particularly scared of caves.
sure.
But I feel like the presence of caves or my presence within a cave is going to put me on edge, you know?
Yeah.
It's not my calmest state is in a
Sure.
cave. Some people do it for zen.
Oh, yeah,
They
yeah.
spelunk and they cave dive that's like their place of peace, and more power to you.
Oh, yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
probably not going with you.
Yeah, I'm not like 100% on the whole like getting real cramped down in there where you gotta like
Shimmy?
really get through. Yeah.
Dude, like shimmy like Bishop in that tube
Yeah,
and Aliens where
absolutely
just
not.
fuck you, dude.
Yeah. Because all it takes is for that like the rock to decompress and
Yeah, man.
that's it. I'm done. Like I can't move. I'm dead.
You know, so many people died like that.
So many
too.
people die. So many so many people die. I'm not gonna cover all of them. So many people
can't.
die. Yeah, there's a couple I will, but there's there's so many deaths just from. Well, I couldn't get through, so I tucked I exhaled to get my stomach over a lip, and then I exhaled, and now I just can't get out ever again.
Yeah.
Or the idea that like you.
My shoelace caught on something, but okay, say you're in like a super
Yeah.
like a compact cave tube. What do you call those? A chute?
Shoot, yeah.
You know?
A shoot shaft.
A shaft. A cave shaft. And you can't bend over to get at your feet. Like
Nope.
you can't touch your feet.
You're screwed.
And your shoelaces get stuck on something. You're like, well, I guess I'm starving
I'm
to death.
dead. Yeah. Well, there's one I read about like a guy he like slipped down, and every time he like went to catch a breath, he would just slip farther and then into a tighter spot of the cave and
Oh my god.
couldn't get less and less air each breath.
Fucking
essentially.
nightmare.
dude, it's fucking awful.
Nightmare.
Like
dude.
yeah, it's the caving is. You are flirting with oblivion.
Well, dude, thrill seekers the world over. That's like
100%.
part of the pull, you know?
Yeah.
Is them fucking, being like, hey, I could die doing this. That's part of the fun.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, some people never even have purpose in their life, so more power to you.
You go for it.
Yeah, 100%.
You know? I'm not mad at you.
Yeah, I'm not really scared of caves. I like caves. I was big into rocks as a kid, like geodes and rocks.
Okay.
And shit like that. So I always had an appeal to me of like, oh, I'm gonna go into a cave and find cool rocks.
A dude like you, it's like a cold, dark, damp area you can just like slither around in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Take off all my clothes, get all lubed up.
Yeah.
Just slink around in the dark.
And do your fucking fell sorceries and shit.
I like cave. I love caves as like a setting for things.
Right.
They're great for, lost shit.
Absolutely.
And, unearthing shit we shouldn't have.
Yeah, forgotten.
Like fucking the Balrog is basically the plot of all the movies we watched.
Yeah, more or less.
know,
only way less cool.
Somebody went down.
The movies are way less
Yeah.
cool. The Balrog is the coolest cave thing
Yeah.
to ever exist.
Somebody went too deep, cracked
Yeah.
open a fucking ravine, and some fucking nightmarish thing.
and goddamn Satan came out of it.
Yeah, something that's been like down there for so long that finally has access up.
Yeah.
No, caves are. I think caves are a great fucking thing as far as like a. I'm not sure what to call it, but it's great ammo. It's great
Oh, yeah.
set dressing for like,
sure.
bad shit to go down
It's-
essentially.
and also you can tell too in the the various films that we watch for this is like it's fucking hard to shoot a movie in a cave, man.
100%. It's
so
even
tight.
even
It
the
requires-
shitty ones.
Yeah.
It's impressive. Like we watched
For sure.
our main event. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
It's not in a real cave
No.
for a lot of it.
For
I don't
a-
think any of it, maybe, but
No, some of it looked real.
they still.
Or at least they got real
yeah,
rocks.
even then, they stick to really tight shots and shit.
You have to.
Yeah.
Part of the allure of a cave movie is the claustrophobia of it.
Yeah.
If you're not doing that right,
Then what are you doing?
Yeah, why are you in a cave at all, really?
Yeah, I don't have any significant like feeling towards caves.
Same.
I like caves. A lot of cool shit goes down in caves, like
Sure. You sick
Dolce
bastard.
base shit.
Well, that's a man-made cave probably.
Sure. Well, there's not to get off on a tangent, but there is a story about a guy who was part of a mining operation that actually cracked up into one of the layers of it once.
That's bad.
Yeah, that guy's funny.
Is that the dude who like burned his hand up?
I think that's the guy who got his hand melted.
Okay.
But
Which honestly, there's lots of ways to melt your hand.
sure, but there's tons of shit in caves.
Yeah.
It's got. I mean, Lovecraft's first story he wrote was it called The Cave,
Really?
or it's like The Thing in the Cave. It might be.
It's probably something like
It's
that.
a rad story. I mean, it's about a guy who's going through like a cave system in New England. It's really
Right.
big.
course.
He gets separated from the group.
Of course.
He ends up in the dark.
Of course.
Of course, can't find his way around, and then he starts hearing something shuffling around, and he's like, "What the fuck is that?"
Right.
He's like, "That's probably." He's like, "Holy fuck, it's a mountain lion," because he's like,
Oh.
"That's the only thing in his head. Like, that's what would be in here, right?"
Yeah.
So he's trying to hide, but it's like hunting him in the dark. It's clearly his first story, so it's kind of not the best, I guess.
Right.
I have a very soft spot in my heart for how the imagery plays out of like fumbling around in the dark and like I don't know what to do. And then
Right.
he gets a big fucking rock and he's like, "Fuck it, this is my stand."
Yeah.
Yeah, and he pounces it and beats it to death. And then the guide who hears him in the dark goes over the light and he's like, "You, what are you doing?" He's like, "Dude, I got attacked by this animal. Can you come help me?" And he goes over and they shine the light and it's like some fucking primordial dude. Like it's some flabby Morlock looking guy.
Oh.
And you're like, "Whoa," and that's just how it ends. And I'm like, that's fucking horrifying.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Do cave people? Probably real.
For sure.
I mean, there's the whole
Why not?
thing, the Appalachian Mountain people.
Yeah.
Those people that just hide in caves up there and
Those-
steal people
Well,
occasionally.
those guys are fucking real. But
yeah,
they're not like I don't know how like troglodyte they are.
not yet.
I think but they're just going to be increasingly more and more like that because
Sure.
inbreeding and cannibalism will do that to
Social isolation.
you. Oh yeah. Not a good thing.
Yeah, you know what? Almost, yeah. Bone Tomahawk could be a scary cave movie. Not in the same way,
For sure.
but yeah. I mean, it goes down in a cave.
Yeah, or at least enough chunks of it to make it apply to this,
Yeah, no, that idea of like stuff trapped in a cave for so long that it's just like alien to the world is interesting.
I mean, I'm a real big fan of breakaway societies, I guess, which is what that would be.
Yeah.
Is like they were once part of regular people, and then they were just like, all right, well, we're going to live in these caves because there's, food source or ready
Right.
shelter or whatever, and then just became as, like, the rest of society just moved away from that, then they just became more and more isolated and more insular, and then they
Right.
just become some sort of, like,
Yeah,
fucking Morlock goblin creature.
like fuck, dude. You know another good one, 13th Warrior. That's
Sure.
all about like a cave, like a tribal cave society coming
Yeah.
into contact with like I guess modern air quote.
modern at the time.
Yeah, it's a good fucking movie too.
Yeah, I like 13th Warrior a lot. I haven't seen it in a long time, but
Yeah, it's really good.
I'd watch it again.
So as far as usually we call out like the jaws of this type of movie, and this one's pretty easy. I mean, it's the Descent, right?
I guess.
Yeah, like that's like the best one I can think of.
Right?
At least, you know, because we had a craze.
Are we not allowed to talk about that one? Because that's my first movie, is The Descent.
You know what? We can talk about it briefly.
I've never. Okay, I'll kick it off then.
Yeah.
I think you did it last time.
Sure, yeah. We'll do our films, and then we'll go into the real
ones,
the realish stuff.
Realish, yeah.
Because some of it's fake.
Because I finally watched The Descent. I'd never seen it before. No, when it came out, it felt to me like like another dime a dozen fucking here we go with this bullshit movie.
Yeah, well, it
didn't appeal to me.
It was the one that started it. It was everybody tried to copy The Descent.
See, it's so strange because as far as like maybe in caves go,
sure.
But I remember when it came out being like, I got no one of these again.
Yeah,
I got no issue with. I got no drive to see it.
Sure,
really, because it's like I can't even really explain. Like, what came before it to make me feel that way?
No, you know what it was? It wasn't even the cave part of it. It was...
No, it didn't have nothing to do with the cave part.
It looks exactly like every other fucking early 2000s horror film.
Right. That's what it was like, don't care. You know what I mean?
They all look like that.
And, and after it came out and stuff, people were telling me it was good. I was like, really? Because it didn't look like it to me. But whatever, fine. People recommend garbage to me fucking constantly.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So it was like, all right, well, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and just not really worry about seeing it, And then, so finally I was like, you know what, we're doing caves. Let's fucking watch The Descent, dude. It's free with ads.
Right on.
Fucking let's go.
You know what?
And
I will say, normally we don't really go into what we would call the jaws of the genre.
Not really.
But with there being 3 movies about caves and one of them being this one.
Yeah.
We're gonna.
Yeah, I mean, it's the one I did, so even if you don't want to talk about it, it's like, all right, well, trim 40 minutes off of this.
Honestly, I am more than happy to, because mine suck. So
yeah, well, the other ones aren't awesome.
Yeah.
The Descent, I think, is top of the mountain.
Sure.
As far as
it's it's the under the mountain, but
whatever. So the Descent starts. There's like. It's like a crew of ladies who are like extremists. Yeah. Not like terrorists.
Yeah. they're religious fundamentalists.
Yeah, they're fucking zealots.
Well, they're cool because they do it all. They do like hardcore rafting.
It opens on them whitewater rafting. Yeah. So they're like extreme sports type people, Xander Cage types.
Yo,
and,
where the fuck is
Triple H versus The Descent?
Yeah, he gets stuck in there, and
I wish he's called that too.
He's gonna get like an extreme scooter and get over the fucking monster.
He's just in there with like a dirt bike, just like fucking going through all like fucking caverns and stuff. That's awesome.
He recruits one, puts it in his backpack,
of course.
Takes it with him.
Yeah,
gives it goggles so it can hang out above ground.
Dude, it's awesome.
Teaches it how to eat Reese's Pieces. And,
oh my god, yeah.
Use a TV remote.
He's like giving it like Cliff Bars and shit.
It's just like
And then it has to, so Xander Cage gets pinned down by the enemy, and then all of a sudden a gunshot rings out. Bad guy falls dead. There's a fucking cave goblin with a revolver.
Yeah,
it's like,
dude, I just wanted it's like talking within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And he's like, he talks, and he's like, well, Crab Magnon, man, was as smart as we are. He just knew a lot less. He's just super
like
smart about it.
Another Triple X. Why do you know about this, dude? What are you talking about?
Wait, are you smart, Triple X?
Because sometimes you are, but other times you're really not.
He just gets really into like TED Talks.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Oh, fuck.
You know who Graham Hancock is? Lost Civilizations.
Dude.
Anyway.
King of Tartary.
Okay. Yeah. Fucking Nephilim. Anyway, alright. That's a whole nother...
That's a whole other episode we could do.
Yeah. So, this group of, I think it's like... It starts off with 3, like, close friend ladies.
Sure.
Right? And one of them is married, he's got a daughter, and the other 2 just seem to be like living that fucking single extreme lady life, which is totally viable and totally fine. So after the opening scene where they're like extreme whitewater rafting, they pack up, they're like, hey, we'll meet you at the hotel, it's gonna be great. And then get into the car, and a accident happens. And the one lady who's married with a kid, her husband and daughter are killed with copper piping.
The most fucking horrible way possible.
In Final Destination style.
Yeah.
Copper piping goes through the back of this dude's head and
into the daughter. It's fucking horrifying and
wake up in a hospital familyless.
Jesus Christ.
It's bad, dude.
I recently had a bad experience on the road where me and Priscilla were on our way to like I was taking her out for her birthday. Kids were here. But yeah, somebody fucking like straight up almost rear-ended us just going like 120 on the highway.
That's bad.
And then they kept like, they would fly ahead, hit the brakes, fly over 2 lanes, come back. Eventually they went off the road with their hazards on. But I was like, we're gonna go 50 for a sec. Until this
well,
thing...
if they went off the road with their hazards on, I always, when someone's acting a fool on the highway, and I lived in Tampa for a while.
That's
so,
the town of fools.
People have literally no regard for human life. Vegas was bad too, man. Vegas was real bad. Anyway, sometimes I always like to give people the benefit of the doubt slightly, because it's like, dude, what if there's somebody is bleeding to death in his back
A
seat?
spider jumped out.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh,
or
fuck!
if his wife's having a baby or something, you know what I mean? You don't know.
I mean, I don't, but what am I gonna do about it?
But no, nothing at all. You be safe and try not
That's what I'm
to
saying.
die.
I went 50. I was like, we're just gonna slow down for a while until that thing plays out.
Oh yeah,
'cause
absolutely.
Fuck that.
You did the right call, but there's a lot of people who shit talk like, look at this fucking asshole. It's like, look,
Sure.
he very well might be being an asshole.
Dude, it's Jack Bauer.
Yeah.
He's like,
You have no idea. He's like on the phone as he's.
yeah, we don't know we're in episode 17 of 24.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Real bad, man. 17 shit's going down.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so
No family.
she wakes up hospital, familyless. Not a good situation, okay?
Right.
So let's see what it says here, because it kind of.
Let's see what I says.
Yeah, see what I says, bitch. Everybody's dead. And then it cuts to they're driving in the Appalachian Mountains, okay? They're gonna go meet up with Juno. The character's name is Juno. She's the real extreme one. She's about that fucking, like, rock climbing, fucking probably skydiving, you know what I mean? Squirrel suits.
Dude.
You know what I mean? Doing dirt bike ramps over tar pits and
Like
stuff.
the beginning of the Mighty Morphin movie.
Yeah, where they got the surfboard.
It's a good opening.
Ugh, whatever. Whatever. Alright, so they're driving through the Appalachian Mountains, and they're gonna meet up. It's gonna be great. And they're trying to get this lady out of her my family died funk.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Trying to be like, get her back at things. You know what I mean? Your life isn't over. You gotta move on, kind of thing. Which is a hard thing to move on from, I imagine.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want it to happen to me. For sure. I'd probably just blow my fucking brains out. But they meet up at it's like a cabin
Yeah. Yeah.
with there's the set of 3 ladies who were in the intro scene, and then a good like 3 more.
Yeah,
Because
there's more. There's like
a lady, her sister,
Yeah.
and then the Juno, the main extremist lady,
Yeah.
her like protege,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And it's almost the I told my wife, she walked in on me watching it, and she was like, what is this? I was like, it's about to be a porno.
Yeah.
It's like a really high budget porno.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's just gonna start scissoring. It's gonna be great. Anyway, so they're dicking off in this cabin for a while, just kind of like drinking beers. They're kind of like, they accidentally talk about the accident for a second,
Right.
But it's like glossed over. Everyone's just kind of like, okay, I can, and she just kind of like shuts down, starts drinking a little beer, trying to.
She's also like, she's also on meds.
Yeah, okay, so they're dicking around in this cabin, and you know everything's gonna go horribly wrong because they take a group photo.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
And that's not a good sign.
Nope.
If you're out there, look, I know you want to preserve the memory and everything. Everybody who might be an adventurer, don't take a group photo.
Yeah.
You're all gonna die.
Yeah. You are. Yeah. You're signing your own grave at that point.
Yeah. 4 out of 5 are you
Yeah.
not gonna make it. That's just the math of it.
If that.
Yeah, and that's being optimistic. That's if anybody gets out at all.
Yeah.
So they drive to this spot. It's a big open cave mouth. There's a distinct shot of the Juno, the extreme ringleader lady, taking the map of the caves, the like guidebook, and throwing it in the glove box, closing the thing up, and leaving. And I'm like, what you doing, lady?
Yeah.
Definitely not a smart idea to do.
Nope.
But I mean, I already know that this is gonna go south. It's
Yeah.
just one of those
Well,
things.
yeah,
where you-
they're supposed to be doing like an easier cave system, but she went to an unmarked one.
Right, and
Yeah.
that's a reveal later on when they I took group photo, leave the map, and then I wrote spelunk because everyone's spelunking, and then exploring. just kind of dicking around, doing their thing, lighting flares and whatnot, flashlights, the usual cave activities, and they get stuck. The one lady gets stuck. Like they're having to worm through a tunnel, to get to a big cavernous opening.
Right.
And the lady, the main lady whose family died, gets stuck. I remember Juno's name, but I don't remember the main character's name.
Yeah.
Which is, you're just gonna have to deal with that, listeners. She gets stuck. Somebody comes back and is like talking her through it. Okay, you can do this. You just gotta like fucking keep breathing, be cool. We'll just get you out of here and blah blah blah. And which, by the way, getting stuck in a fucking tight cave like that, I think we mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Absolutely fuck that.
You don't want to start hyperventilating.
No.
In a fucking enclosed chamber.
Dude, it's so bad. You're definitely gonna die. And she starts kind of panicking a little bit, but they get her out.
Oh yeah.
Especially because a cave-in starts happening.
Yeah.
The rocks shift, and they're like, okay, we gotta fucking go, like, now.
Mm-hmm.
They have to abandon one of the rope bags, but they get her out of the tunnel. The tunnel that she crawls out of collapses, and it's like, okay, fuck, what are we gonna do now? One of the other ladies says, okay, well, there's 3 openings to this cave. We just gotta get the map and route a different one so we can get out of there. And that's when it comes out that we're not in the cave that you think we are.
Yep.
I thought we were gonna be awesome and chart this cave ourselves, dude. It's gonna be awesome. And now we're probably all gonna die in here.
Yeah.
And so everybody starts kind of freaking out.
What already is like a pretty harrowing like survival story.
Yeah.
Is only compounded by
We don't know where we are.
and they stumbled into a cave goblin house.
Yes. Which comes later.
A little bit later, yeah.
They're kind of
they explore for a bit.
There's a lot of before the shit really starts hitting the fan, there's a lot of like cave survival movie. They have limited gear now, and we have to get out of this cave, and we don't really know. We're charting it while trying to escape.
Yeah.
Which is, you want to talk about a harrowing situation. Shit, man.
Oh, yeah. Them doing like charting and explaining like what different paths mean, and trying to get across different little ravines, like finding the evidence that like
the one time they
it's like 50 or 60-year-old.
Yeah, well, she said it was like 100 years.
Yeah, it's old as shit.
There's
so
like a big clip in there, which kind of lucks out because the lady was like, I mean, and they do a good job too of the one lady who's trying to. Okay, they come to a ravine, toss a flare across to the other side, and now they got to traverse this gap, and this one lady is just like all Ninja Warrior upper body strength, because she's out there just like clicking ropes, fucking doing carabiners, running lines, you know what I mean? Mountain climber stuff. It's super hardcore and awesome, and so she gets to one of the clips is already there. They're like, and she kind of like, she clocks it, but then is like, can't worry about that now. We just got to get across. Mm-hmm. And then they start talking about that, and they're like, yeah, this thing's 100 years old. We might be super. There's 2 schools of thought. One, somebody's been here, so we can probably get out. Or that person never got out, so we might be super fucking screwed. Because if they got out, this cave system would be known about. Yeah. And charted and named. So we might have a big problem.
Yeah.
So they're kind of coalescing and kind of like going over, okay, we crossed the thing, let's see what we can do now. The main lady, whose family is dead, goes off to, I don't remember what she's doing, but she breaks from the group and sees something, a pale thing shifting.
An amazing shot.
It's a really well done shot.
So far away.
He's very far away. Yeah. And you kind of hear him first, kind of like shuffling and chittering and stuff. And then you kind of like, it's not one of those shots where you like get the light on it and it runs immediately. No. It's like moving for a second. And it's like, I don't know if it's just laying there. You see like knees and elbows and shit.
So far. That's one of my favorite
parts.
What
even is that?
Yeah, because if they didn't cut to it real close up for your benefit, you'd be like, what the fuck am I staring
Which
at?
I don't think they do they?
I think it's got a really tight shot of it, kind of like,
I don't remember.
But yeah, her like having her POV of being like, what the fuck am I?
I mean,
looking
it's
at?
a good, yeah, like 30 foot away
Yeah.
in
Is that anything?
just a tunnel flashlight thing. I mean,
Yeah.
it's definitely something because it's moving.
Yeah.
It's like writhing. And it's just like, yeah, bony knees and elbows and stuff. And it's like on its back, maybe.
it's
but
fucking, it's like just tucked in this little
and then
crevice. Yeah.
it sees her, its head turns, and it jets off. And then she, rightly so, starts going like, fuck! Starts freaking out. We gotta get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, yeah, no shit, we're stuck in a cave. We gotta get the hell out of here.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, I've seen there's something in here. Everyone's like, all right, look, it's a high stress situation.
Sure, yeah.
The usual, like, deflection of threat.
Well, yeah, because, like, what are the fucking chances?
Come on.
That cave goblin.
Nobody lives in here, you know? Because she said it's a man. It's like a guy back
Yeah.
there, you know? And let's see. They find a bone pile, which is pretty cool. And that's when you first see that it is goblins. They are legitimate actual goblins who live in this cave. First contact, a scuffle ensues. And I think there's one casualty because the one lady broke her leg. She fell down a thing. She
Yeah.
thought she saw daylight, but it turns out it's just phosphorus in the rock, and she was running at it.
Yeah.
Fell down a hole, broke her leg, compound fracture too. Not fun. Bones sticking out her leg. They gotta fucking deal with that. Not great, you know.
Yeah.
And then she gets somersaulted over and bit in the fucking neck,
yeah.
and she's done for. The one super extreme lady, Juno, she kills one, right?
Yeah.
And then she hears something coming up behind her. She wheels around and sticks her friend in the neck with a climbing axe.
Sure.
And then she's just got a hole in her neck. She's bleeding out. It's not great. Not a good situation to be in. I just marked it here as oops. And there's no music, too, throughout the whole first scuffle, which I thought was really nice. Makes it more intense and shit. And that's when they kind of, I think they split up then. Maybe that was later. I forget if they get separated or not. But now shit, these ladies gotta deal with cave goblins while trying to find their way to the surface.
It just builds on it. Too.
It's the threat never goes away, really. You know. So one of their friends is dead. Already, two of their friends are dead. I thought the actors who played the goblins are fucking doing a great job. Their movement is super, like, they're fucking jittery shit.
Yeah.
And like their nudity.
And they
you know
come,
what I mean?
they come at you. They're very live on the
Mhm.
rock and shit. They really sell the fact that they hear
For
instead of
sure,
see.
they're in their element. And this, I had a problem with that actually because I got no issue really with what happened. Oh, thank God! I thought I lost my beer. I was gonna freak out. Freak out. But there's what I didn't like was I got no issue with a cave thing being blind and using echolocation. Super common cave survival trait. But what I didn't like was when they're hiding from it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's just crawling right over them.
Yeah, it
and
has has no sense of
there
touch.
it's not its sense of touch. There is no way that you can quiet your panicked breathing enough to where something that lives in a cave can't hear you.
Right.
When it's 2 fucking feet next to your head. There's no way. So it broke my suspension of disbelief just enough to be like, fucking really? There's some stuff with like
Really?
flares and torches too.
Sure.
Because they don't see light. You know what I mean? They don't see at all. They're blind. But they can still. They live in a cave. They feel the heat of the torch.
Yeah.
They feel the heat of the flare. Come on with this. But I'll let it go. Because it's not like a huge issue. You know. Let's see what else I got. Creature movement. Cave ears. Yeah. There's actually what was really well done and probably the most well done. It kind of. This sort of idea shows its head a couple different times. Was cave movies are really good at playing with light. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The different light sources are always fun because it's always like flashlights and flares, and which makes the lighting awesome because the Descent definitely has a really good thing going for it because they got red flares and green glow sticks.
Yeah.
So they can really play with the lighting of a scene which is super fun, and you know the light source is always changing up. You know, but it's just anything but daylight. Like, there's no natural light, obviously.
Yeah.
There's no, like, how maybe some shittier cave movies would do it, or just, like, movies where a dark thing is taking place, where there's just, like, clearly a light off screen, but it's blue, and that means it's dark in here,
Yeah.
you know? Which is, you know, it's got its place. But this is a little too professional to be fucking with that manner of scenario. So let's see, glow sticks flare. There's another fucking contact. Fucking Juno is killing it. She's fucking killing so many people.
Everybody up.
She tomahawks that fucking climbing axe into people's backs and stuff. It's fucking super good. The main lady gets separated and finds the lady who got stabbed in the neck by her friend is still alive. She's bleeding out through a hole in her neck, and they find her in I guess a squish pile?
Yeah, it's like a meat pile.
Like a wet meat pile of their eatings.
Yeah.
You know, their leavings. And there's her friend tells her that it was something I picked up on right away in the very first scene was Juno was fucking this lady's husband.
Yeah.
And which there's a look that they share. The husband and Juno in the very first like whitewater rafting scene was like, oh well, they're having an affair.
Oh yeah.
Like right away. And so that gets confirmed because she hands the lady who's dying from a hole in her neck hands the other lady, the main lady, a necklace that she ripped off of Juno's neck that has a phrase that her husband always used to say on it.
Yeah.
It was like live every day or love every day or some bullshit like that. And so it's confirmed. Not awesome. Not great.
Oh, no.
And then this lady becomes Dutch from Predator.
Yeah.
She's not fucking playing games. She gets fully submerged in a goop pool of what is just, I guess, blood and sinew and chunks of shit.
Yeah.
Has to kill a couple of these cave goblins. Meets back up with Juno. Everybody else is dead. It's just her and Juno. And she's kind of like, okay, she doesn't bring it up. That's like, hey, were you fucking my husband? She doesn't bring it up because they're kind of like gonna get out of there for a second. And then they kind of have a little standoff. There's like a final confrontation of they all bring down a couple of them.
Yeah.
Which is a little like, I don't know, stuff like that kind of. It was kind of building on at least semi-realism, and then you have this like final stand where these two ladies are like murking cave goblins because you know them things are like chimp strong.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like supporting. They have one that's like Spider-Man crawling on the ceiling of a cave.
Yeah.
Like those things are ridiculously strong. They're just gonna rip your fucking arms off.
And they're fucking really fucked up. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, they do a cool thing where they don't just come at you and kill you and leave you.
Mm-mm.
They don't even really wait for you to be dead. They'll start dragging
just
you
start
off.
eating you.
Yeah, they'll start eating and dragging you away. There's
One of
that
the ladies dies like that. She just starts getting eaten.
Yeah, and they have to fight one of the girls away from her so they could keep eating her.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It was good. It was well done. But okay, yeah. So the culmination comes with they down a group of these things, but they can hear more coming.
Yeah.
Right? And that's when main lady holds the necklace out that Juno immediately recognizes as well, she knows about that whole affair thing.
Whoops.
And Juno was also this whole time pushing them to be like reunite as friends, kinda.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't around after the accident much, you know? And it's probably because the other lady knew about it too.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously she knew about it because she told her, but there was a scene earlier on where it's just like, they were like, hey, she had that accident, you gotta, take it easy with her. And Juno says, like, she's not the only one who lost something in that accident.
Yeah. Which
And
is
then
like, okay.
it's like, dude, how long were you guys doing this? And like everybody knew about it but this lady? Were you guys just like fucking staring at this cuck being like, fuck you? Because not cool, man.
It happens. It's weird.
It sure does happen, man. Humans are nasty. But yeah, anyway, so they hear more of the goblins coming, and it's made clear to Juno that she knows about the affair, so she just takes that climbing axe and just fucking sticks it straight into Juno's leg, blah,
Yeah.
and is like, peace, bitch, and just dips out of there. you know? And she reaches the surface. Dude, I think it's the main girl, she fucking totally, like, Prince Oberyn kills one of them, like, with the fucking eye gouge with their thumbs in their eyes. I was like, dude, that's like one of my favorite methods. It's so much fun to see every time, just someone going, "Ah!" as someone's thumbs gets driven into their eyes. So metal, man. But yeah, that's pretty much it. There is an incredible shot. That probably my favorite shot of the whole movie is when she sees daylight. Mm-hmm. But she has to crawl up this pile of bones to get at it, and it kind of is a long shot of just like the whole screen is black, but there's just like you can just see the top of the bone pile, and she's climbing up it. It's a fucking fantastic shot. I was really, really impressed by it, and it made the whole movie for me. Seriously, it was like a whole fucking big metaphor. She's climbing over death to try and this super uphill, like steep climb. And with this tiny little dot of light that she's trying to get at, and it's a metaphor for her whole life. Oh yeah, you know what I mean? Having to crawl through this shit and this darkness. Like, not only is her family dead, but her best friend was fucking her husband the whole time, and then is trying to like be friends again, and is like she had to kill her, and it's like all this fucking shit is coming to this head, and her just like crawling over these bones to reach this barely human-sized escape hatch.
Yeah.
And she fucking gets out and runs around it, which honestly, once she got out, I was like, well, now what are you gonna do?
So did you watch the normal one?
There's The Descent.
Yeah, there's actually a director's cut of that film.
Is there?
Yeah, they made him chop the ending up.
What do you mean?
Well, she gets out, and then she gets in a truck, and she drives for a little bit. She has like a little freak out.
Yeah.
And then she like snaps out of it and realizes she didn't get out. She's still down there. The last shot of the director's cut is super rad because it's there's a shot of her. She keeps having flashes to like a birthday cake with her daughter.
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
there is no real payoff for that.
Yeah. Well, the payoff in the full director putting his ending back in, because that's almost all he adds was the ending he wanted. That's okay. Is her waking up after having like she drives, and then like her dead daughter is in the car with her, and she freaks out at that. She wakes up screaming in the cave, and then realizes there's just like a little torch light, like it's like fire or something. Or she sees the candle of the birthday cake again, and she just has this fucking moment where she sits down and she's just glaring at it while you just hear fucking goblins everywhere. Oh, and she's just like she's there now. Like this is the headspace she's in. Right. Which is why I bring up the medication too, because it almost pays into this idea of just like, without it, she's just devolving into
she's
this.
She's freaking out, yeah.
And now it's like, well, this is my life.
I mean, you could become a cave goblin. They'll probably accept you.
I mean, if you kill enough of them, they'll probably stop.
I mean, honestly, she's the hottest one. You know what I mean?
Did you imagine getting caught by cave goblins and they drag you down and you're like, what's happening? And there's just some lady there. And you're like, wait a minute.
That was what I always
wanted.
You're
on the missing poster.
I always wanted them to do a sequel to The Grey like that.
Where it's like
The Grey 2, and they just have to fight Liam Neeson, who is Wolf King.
Yeah.
He still got the broken bottles like duct taped to his hands and shit.
Just wearing the outfit.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, The Descent's super rad. I like it a lot.
But
it's definitely the best cave monster
movie. The regular cut that I saw, the ending of it, I thought it was Juno who was in the... She gets into the truck and she's just like hauling ass out of there.
It might be. I don't remember.
I thought it was Juno because it was too tall to be the daughter. The daughter was only like maybe 10, maybe?
Right.
And that's what it ends on. Was like she just kind of looks over and it's this like zombified Juno, and then it cuts and I was like, well, you just fucking ruined this. Did not like that at all.
Yeah, no. It's supposed to go for another like 45 seconds.
But The Descent was fucking great, man.
And because of The Descent, we got like 2 or 3 cave movies within a year and a half.
There's a Descent 2.
Yeah, it's not great.
I watched about, I want to say 6 minutes of it and was like, this isn't good.
Juno's alive.
Was she alive?
They find her in the sequel, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because they bring the girl back down.
Right. Well, that's what I saw. Was like, dude, you're not gonna aliens this, are you?
Yeah, they totally aliens this. They also give a backstory to the cave and like what's going on down there and like why it's a secret still.
Better you don't know.
It's really stupid, but that's the best part is that they like round a corner and Juno's alive and she's just been murdering goblins trying to find a way out.
That's cool.
It's been like, I don't know, like a couple days or something like that.
Well,
it's
yeah,
like
like
bit of
2
time.
days.
Yeah, it's not very good. It's
It
okay.
didn't look good.
Yeah, it's not great. Yeah, no, I fucking love The Descent.
Yeah, it was fun. Fun as shit. Really enjoyed it.
I'm gonna do mine rapid fire because they're really bad. First one I watched was The Cavern, which is one of the big movies that came out the same year. It was actually called Within, and they changed it to The Cavern because The Descent and The Cave came out within 6 months of each other.
Why don't they call it Within the Cavern?
I don't know. The Cavern is fucking terrible.
Oh,
It's set
no.
in Kazakhstan, and
Cool.
it involves, guess what? People caving. And
Sure.
they find a monster.
Yeah. One
It's
singular monster?
it's one. It's
Okay.
it's cool. He's like have you ever heard of the Kandahar Giant?
Yeah, of course.
It's almost, dude, it's a red story. We'll have to do
It's-
giants one day.
Dude, there's a couple different ones.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a couple different ones, yeah.
But it's kind of
Giant ginger
Yeah.
fucking motherfuckers.
with 6 toes and shit.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
But yeah, it's
I actually have a pretty good. I'll tell you when we're not doing this, but I
the,
got
the editing is fucking awful. It's told
no.
it's told like in flashback,
Okay.
but like fucking I spent the whole time going, why? Why are you flashing back? Why does this need to be a flashback? Why isn't this just linear?
I don't know.
There's no reason. There is no
Well,
reason.
because then you get that cool opening scene where it's like, bet you're wondering how I got here.
But yeah, it's really bad, and the it's got bad gore.
Oh,
It's
no.
essentially- It's okay. It's a bunch of dudes and 2 ladies who
Okay.
are all right looking.
Okay. Don't judge them by their looks, man.
I'm not, but you know they did. That's the only reason. You know that's why they got put in this movie is
That's
because
the ones-
they looked kind of good.
Right.
So, because it's this kind of movie.
Yeah.
So
I know the
it's,
type.
It's them in a cave. It somehow looks worse than our main event movie, which is
Oh,
filmed
no.
exclusively in hallways made of paper bags.
Yeah.
And they're they just all the dudes die one by one, and then it catches up to you the start of the film. The end point, which is just these 2 ladies wake up. They almost get out, and then this big hulking thing catches them. And they wake up naked, covered in animal furs. And they're just like, what the fuck? And you get
Have
this,
they been assimilated?
well,
Is he their cave wife now?
you get this, you get kind of a sequence where I was kind of enjoying the film where they slowly walk around its lair because it's not present. And they're like, is that a downed plane wing? Is this in Russian? And they start finding out that this was like some Russian kid that his plane crashed and he just became big and feral, which I'm
Okay.
like, but there's a bit where I'm just like, this is cool. There's a mystery of like what's all this shit
Sure.
strewn about.
It's not just a cave monster. It's like was once a person.
Yeah, and then he comes back, and the most notable thing about this movie, unfortunately, he comes back and he's like elated for a little bit, and then he just fucking beats one to death.
Oh shit.
And then just rapes the other one.
That's not
the
good.
movie ends mid-rape. Like
Oh.
he's pumping and dumping.
That's not
and
good.
It ends mid pump and dump.
Oh no.
It's really fucking bad.
You can't end like that.
No, it's really weird. You don't even get like, that cliche, sexual violence is a vengeance motivator. She
Right.
doesn't get vengeance. She's just like, well, this is
She's just a fuck slave now.
Yeah.
I mean, thinking
for
from
a Russian Kandahar.
Okay. Let me
not
just
good.
try and get into the brain of the Kandahar giant real quick. You have 2 prospective fuck slaves. You
Why
probably
kill-
have never.
Why kill one?
Why beat one to death?
I don't know, man.
I don't understand because you
Because you need-
clearly have
it's-
never had this opportunity before.
Because sadly, it's a thing with these movies from this region of the world. Violence against women is like prominent.
Sure.
And so I was kind of like really bummed about that movie because I had always heard of it. And I was like, yeah, it's one of the 3. It's The Descent, The Cavern, and The Cave.
Right.
And I wasn't going to watch The Cave because that's a piece of shit.
I almost did.
It's about mutant bats.
Oh, cool.
It's a virus that gets in your head and turns you into a bat monster.
Cool.
Yeah, it's weird. It's got like a Rain
down
of
with bat
Fire
monsters.
shot where a guy leaps off of a wall with climbing axes at a bat, though.
Oh, that's
Pretty rad.
metal as
Pretty
fuck.
rad.
Yeah.
He has a bit more luck than McConaughey.
It was just gonna honestly, the Descent was free with ads, and the Cave was like $2.99 to rent. And I'm
You're
like, nah,
nah.
I'm good.
So I went back to another movie that I did watch before, and it's also bad, but it's called Ghoul.
Ghoul.
It's from 2012, I think. It's based on a book,
Cool.
It's a TV movie essentially.
Oh no. That's not good.
It's cool. Okay. It
The
does
cool
things
is
I
cool.
like. Where I like the tone of it. It's based on a book that I have also read.
Oh really?
It's not very close in a lot of ways.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, what are you gonna do? It's got good child violence in it. So
Yikes. What do you mean, like violence against
it's
children,
like
or
a
child's doing violence?
It's like a kids on bikes kind of thing, where these kids find that the local cemetery has tunnels underneath it,
Right.
that go everywhere, and they kind of try to build a little forts in there because they're
Okay.
like, "Yo, underground clubhouse, let's go."
Yeah.
Not knowing that recently a thing has been unleashed because a sacred tablet gets broken. Essentially,
Ooh,
by
they
people
go that route,
busting
huh?
in, yeah, and it's like Ernest Scared Stupid almost.
Oh.
But this thing gets loose and starts fucking yanking people, and it's not like one or two. It's they're 6 people are gone in 2 weeks. What's
Oh.
happening? And the kids are like, I think it's because of that fucking tablet, dude.
Right.
So they start going down there, and the movie's not as gratuitous with it, but the book doesn't give a shit. Kids get grabbed by this thing. It's a ghoul. It's literally a withered, long-fingered, scary fucking monster.
Cool.
And it's fun. I mean, it's I like ghouls a lot. I like ghoul mythology. My favorite Hellboy story is the ghoul.
The ghoul.
Fucking love that one.
The ghoul's a good one. Yeah.
Only cause he could have been on the team. He doesn't even fight back. Hellboy just beats him to death while he quotes Shakespeare.
I bet Hellboy does that a lot, though.
You don't ask questions.
It's like we could be friends, and Hellboy's like, brick fist.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's very bad Stephen King.
So most of Stephen King.
I mean, I'm kind of with you, but it's mostly fun, small town drama, dark secrets we unearthed. A guy was kind of helping this thing for a while,
Yeah.
and shit like that. It's not great. There's not much to talk about. There's a lot of fun, kids exploring old tunnels and shafts underneath the town.
A little Gooniesy.
Finding out that they have an access point in their barn and being
Oh.
like, yo, cool, we can go down in here.
Right.
It's fine. Sadly, when I was I picked The Strangeness because I was I don't even think I said it. Normally we say up front what the movie we're watching is.
Did we?
Well,
remember we
top
did
of
or
the
not.
episode, we remind you, but I picked The Strangeness for our main event, but then I was when I was trying to pick my movies, I was that's all the movies. It's
Yeah.
I was I don't want to pick The Descent because that's the Jaws,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, I didn't care about that.
I was we're watching The Strangeness, so I'm
what else?
fuck, dude. I was I don't want to watch The Cave again. And then I watched these two. Mostly I watched two because I was God, the Cavern was bad.
Yeah.
And then I was God, Ghoul's not great either.
This is usually my position.
Dude, I'm telling you, and I have nothing to say about it because I have no love for. This is garbage. This
Yeah.
wasn't even schlock.
It's not good.
It was really bad. The Ghoul kind of hits on some points I like. There was a movie I almost watched to talk about again, but I'm saving it for a different topic because it's way more relevant to a different topic.
That's fair.
Which Caves kind of has a lot of overlap with.
Sure.
There's stuff that they find in caves that we could always easily talk about.
I mean, yeah, stuff gets let out of a cave a lot.
Yeah, it's just what's in there, man.
But that's the thing is what I tried to do that was different than because there was a couple things that came up. It was okay, well, this thing comes out of a cave.
Yeah.
I was it doesn't count. It's got to be in a cave.
Yeah, it's gotta be in the cave.
Yeah.
Oh, well, then we will move on to our real life research. Woo! So I
called them trues.
got some truth. I got some stuff to talk about. I got a big one that's gonna be the bulk of what I say.
Okay.
When I get to it, but I try to avoid collecting too many. People getting stuck. There's one though.
I got a couple of them.
There's the
Because
one
that's honestly, we were talking about earlier off mic, was that's what the danger is of caves.
Get stuck.
Is getting stuck
Oh,
and
yeah.
dying, just starving to death.
Yeah.
Just getting lost
Oh yeah.
is
It's not
bad.
good. It's horrible.
There's not monsters down there. There might be, but you're probably just gonna get stuck.
Yeah,
instead.
before you ever get to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, the big one that really sticks out to me is there's one where one that's a fun mention just because a bunch of people were in there when it flash flooded, which is
Oh, shit.
a nightmare.
Yeah.
But there's the big one. I can't remember his name. You might know his name offhand, but he's the guy who he worked his way into this really fucking tight offshoot of the main path they were going because he thought it was the right way to go.
Okay.
And he got to like a lip and he could see that like ahead of him was a drop off and he went, that's it.
Right.
So he like got his way in there and he like sucked in his whole guts to get his ribs up over the lip.
Yeah.
And then was like, nope, that's a hole. And then just went head first into it.
Oh,
And
no.
he got wedged. And like he was like, I can't get out of this.
Right.
Like his feet were like the bottoms of his feet were hitting the top of the cave, like
Dude,
the
that
little
sucks.
tight cubby. And like he was so fucking down there that they were like the guy, his brother was with him and he's like, I can't fucking get to you. Like
Right.
how the fuck did you get
How
in
did
there?
you even get there? Yeah.
And the rescue effort was like ridiculous. They had to like send in like ropes and try to do pulleys and
right.
chisel away at stuff, see if
Fucking
they could pull them
nightmare, dude.
out. Because like people couldn't get in there easily, so they were trying to get in there to like drill open a spot to like plop them out, like pull them out.
Yeah, a common cave rescue
Yeah.
tactic. Sometimes when they can't get you out, they're
Yeah.
just like, we just got to drill a hole down to you.
Well, they were like trying to get to him, and just like the roof above him, they were trying to like open it up so his legs had a spot to like slide.
Sure.
But they were like, there's no room. It's fucking taking forever. And they were trying to do pulleys and ropes, and they were like, well, we can't do that. And it took so long that it got to a point where they're like, we're gonna have to break this fucker's legs to get him out of here, like
Yeah.
snap him off. And they were like, well, he's been upside down for so long that he might not have feelings, so it might be fine.
Fine. Yeah, there's
But
no blood in his legs.
It took so fucking long to set this whole system up that they were then scared that the blood rush to his legs and the pain might fucking kill him immediately. And it sucks because it took so fucking long that it was like 22 hours or something like that before he just became unresponsive and they realized they couldn't get him out. So they just filled that patch in
yeah.
and just said, well, that's where he is now.
That happens
A lot.
sometimes.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. They tend not to be able to get you.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely happens. I mean, not never.
No.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a norm, but it's definitely something I feel like if you're, if you're gonna be about that life, you definitely got to be like, this could definitely happen.
But yeah, you're going to places that like most people won't be able to get to.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, getting fucking stuck is horrifying, and there's
Dude,
so
so
many
bad.
of them, and like there's the actual like cave divers, the ones that like actually scuba dive.
A lot of
They don't fucking. They're the worst. There was a guy showing off like the system where there's this one tunnel and they would go into it and he's like the tunnel is so fucking long it has a point of no return where your oxygen won't make
Last,
it back.
right,
You
right.
have to keep going, and they have those little like things that like
the jet things.
yeah, the little jet things
Yeah.
to pull you.
Those things are actually super cool.
They're super badass. But like he was with a group of people and one of them just fucking freaked out, like started panicking.
That's a problem.
And he's like, it's such a like the sediment in there is so still because nothing lives down here.
Yep.
That
Once you kick
his
it up-
aggressive movement, he's like you couldn't see anything.
Yep.
And he said he saw that guy's light just disappear because that guy was trying to get out and went a direction.
Right.
And he's like, I have no fucking clue which way that guy was going. I know I was facing the right way, so I just kept going.
Yeah, just
And he's
I
like,
mean, there's really nothing else you can do. There's actually
Yeah.
one of my stories comes from an MMA fighter named Donald Cerrone, Cowboy. He's a
Sure.
super famous one. He's I think he actually has the most positive win record in the UFC to begin with. I think he's got he holds some manner of record in this way. I forget what it is. He's a super cool guy. He's got a ranch in Colorado, just living the cowboy life, dude. Fucking awesome. And then sometimes he gets in a cage. He takes off his cowboy hat and just gets in a cage and just fucking fights a guy. It's awesome.
fuck taking it off, leave it on.
Yeah, well, they probably make you. He would leave it if he could. He'd probably leave it on, if they let him. But this guy, he did that. He's a big he does a lot of extreme sports kind of things,
Right.
and he was cave diving with a guy, and it was just him and this guy. And the guy fucking panicked, kicked up all that sediment, and he was down there for hours.
Oh, yeah.
Just like he said, you could put your hand to like an inch and a half in front of your face. You can't see it. It is just sand.
Yeah.
You can't see shit. And he was like, he said he was down there. There's like waterproof notebooks and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and he had one. He was like writing notes to his wife and kids, going like, "I love you," you know what I mean?
Yeah, 'cause I'm
like
gonna
I'm
get outta
dying
here.
down here.
Yeah,
and
this
then
might
he
be it.
fucking made it out.
Yeah.
He fucking was down there for hours and hours, and he made it out. And I was like, bro, what an extreme dude. So cool.
There's one I read where they were going and somebody got fucking stuck. and like was panicking and shit. And the guy, what the fuck was it? He didn't go back, I don't think. Oh, his friend got stuck, and he was like, "Oh shit." He tried to get him out, but he was like, my oxygen's going out. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to make it. If I stay here, I'm not going to make it. He's definitely not going to make it by the time I get to the surface if I leave now.
Right.
And then there were like 3 guys that he knew were in a different group behind that dude. And they were coming to the same pathway.
Oh, so it blocked him up.
Yeah, and it was this whole thing. And I guess when all things were said and done, I think 2 of them got stuck and died as well.
Ugh.
And then one of them was like turned back and barely made it or some shit like that.
Oh,
but yeah,
man.
they all got like blocked up in like the worst fucking part of it to get stuck.
That's intense.
Yeah. It's not fucking, dude.
Could you imagine, like, just being there and be, like, having to, in that moment, like, try and calculate, okay, he's stuck. If I have this much air left, he's being similar, but we're, like, you have to start ticking down the time because you're breathing more rapidly because of an intense situation.
You're trying to stay calm.
Yeah, exactly. So you're like, okay, what do if I go back and come back, he's gonna be dead by the time I fucking get there, so is there a way I can figure this out to get us both out of here before both of us die?
Yeah. And usually you can't.
And a lot of times
when you're
you can't.
doing stuff like that, yeah, where you have limited air or resources, you know, you get those fucking cavers who go in with fucking nothing.
Dude,
They're
intense.
nuts. Yeah.
Intense, man. There was one of the stories that I have is cops in Croatia found a scuba diver's body, and his face mask was off, and he had a 12-inch knife in his chest. And they were like, dude, somebody killed this guy and dumped his body in here.
Yeah.
But as they're kind of investigating the case and such, it became clear that he was down there, couldn't find his way out, got lost, ran out of air, and just stabbed himself so he didn't have to suffocate.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. It's fucking intense, dude.
Dude, there's
There's a video of a guy I
Yeah.
seen. Because he had a fucking camera on his helmet or whatever. Of
course.
And he went, it was in Africa, I think. Somewhere in, I'm pretty sure it was in Africa. And he went down to a place to retrieve a body. Somebody had died.
Yeah.
And he couldn't do it.
He got like hung up trying to do it.
He started panicking. And when you do that, when you start panicking, it's not cycling enough oxygen in there, and you start breathing your own CO2.
Yeah.
And then you start fucking like freaking out because your body's not getting enough oxygen, and your mind isn't working right. And he got tangled up in his shit, and he died. Now there's 2 bodies down there.
I thought he got that guy out.
No, he died.
I remember one that was similar where he like fucking the other kid's body like started coming up eventually because he did get that kid loose, but he was so fucking down there. I might be wrong.
I mean, it may be the same.
I mean,
thing.
this probably happens.
I mean, yeah, it's probably a thing that goes down, but I'm not prepared to say it was the same one.
There's so many.
When I quit reading the article, it was like he just died. It didn't like really give any follow up on what happened to the body.
That's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and then, there's so many people that just get fucking lost in caves and you never see them again.
Well, that's why it's like, I think do you have something better that's not somebody getting lost? I got a couple things.
There's a really rad one.
If you got a real big one, I'm gonna do.
I have a huge one, but I
Okay.
do have other small ones.
Okay, I got some more ones that are like more spooky than they are just this horrifying situation of somebody getting stuck in.
Well, I'll
drowning or
rapid
starving.
fire my real ones before we go to the spooky ones, which are
Okay.
the quote real ones.
Right.
Well, there's one that's fun. It's this guy who they do headcam, like they stream their shit to YouTube while they're doing it.
Okay.
They're one of those like blog channels. They go do shit.
I know a guy who, I don't know him personally, but there's one of the videos of a guy who just like goes in to like rivers where people tube.
Yeah.
And just
finds shit.
Finds a bunch of shit.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love that guy.
He is. I love
because he always comes up. He's like rattlesnake wallet. Anyway, who's the rattlesnake?
No,
wallet?
it was like when he finds stuff down there, it's always just like he screams in joy, but it's just like. It's very fun.
I saw one of the guy. They would walk down like the like rivers and kind of like that. Just when they find a gun, just a gun sitting there.
Oh, shit.
And they're like, "Oh, no, touch it. I'm gonna call the cops."
Yeah.
And they do the whole video of him like calling the cops and them coming down. Like, yeah, we found a gun. It was weird. But yeah, there's this one where they're doing it and they're crawling around and it's fucking it. At first, I'm like, oh, it's a scary one.
Right.
Because he gets into a spot and he gets like kind of snagged, so he throws his backpack back and he crawls into a small cavern and you hear somebody like weeping. And he's like,
that's some Skinwalker shit.
yeah, but they keep going and eventually like they round a corner and there's this like little girl just like at the back of the cave, like where there's nowhere else to go, just crying. And they're like, yo, like, what are you doing back here?
Are you okay?
Yeah, and she just keeps, like trying to get away from him, and they're kind of like, what the fuck? And then they kind of, like, eventually, like, they're like, oh, was she with the people we just saw back with the tour group? Yeah, it turns out she's some little girl. Her family was, like, Croatian or something. She can't speak English.
Skinwalker.
Dude, well, they have to, like, eventually they get her parents to come to, like, the opening that they crawled all the way through.
Right.
And she'll come out, but yeah, they found this little girl. She just got separated and like couldn't find her way in the dark, and just kept going through holes that she kept finding, and ended up at a dead end. It was just standing back there, like,
Man.
I don't know where to go.
Poor girl.
Which is like, if they didn't just find her,
that
maybe
could have been
never
a lot
found
worse.
that girl.
That could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. Thank God. Thank God.
And then I have another one that's super rad, where it was this. I found out about this place. It's a massive, like, I don't think it was limestone, but it's like a big cave, like a cavern system that used to be mined out.
Okay.
But it's got this rad, like, it's the front of it's a building, because they built like a brick and mortar like building side onto the face of the mountain.
Cool.
So you walk in like a
That's
normal
like
building,
that's some dwarf
and then
shit.
there's a cave. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's super rad. And it used to be used for like mining and stuff and storage,
Yeah.
until like the mob stole it.
That'll
and
happen.
they used it as a base, and it's the whole history of that. It's a fun
is
deep dive to go.
cool,
into.
dude.
Yeah. It's,
What a
it's like
base.
it's like a Fallout location.
Yeah,
like you
for sure.
imagine kicking the door into the powder gangers, and it's just like this
Yeah,
fucking
it's
place.
a cave.
You're like, whoa, is a cave back here?
For sure, Death Claws in there. There's just a bunch of dead bodies.
Dude, for sure, death claws.
Yeah.
That's mostly like the normal, like, people die or
Yeah.
weird ones.
Honestly, with that kid being in the cave like that, it's just like just crawling through and just like hearing something crying.
yeah, not good.
Could you imagine?
I'd be like, ugh.
Horrifying.
It'd be a coin flip of like, do I press on?
You have to.
Yeah.
Because
Realistically,
it's a little
person.
kid.
Yeah. It's never gonna be an actual skinwalker.
No.
But I'm gonna think it.
But I'm gonna think that whole time. If you get sharp teeth, that kid is fucking catching one to the brain.
Yeah, if you fucking come at me.
If you turn around and you got like weird cat reflector eyes,
I'm just gonna slide out of the cave.
yeah. Good luck.
All right, so you had some spooky ones.
I did. I got there was one that a guy was he was on a team, I guess, of people. They were just going through a cave, and he was the last one out. You know, they had to like climb up a rope to get onto a ledge to get out of there. And as he was the last one, he heard something like shuffling behind him.
Dude, fuck that.
And he turned around, there was nothing there. Mm-hmm. So he's like, okay, climbed the rope as quick as he could. And when he looked down, there was a candle down there. Like a miner's candle, which is like an old
Yeah,
school
that's
thing they used to
fucking
use.
weird.
And he was like, fuck. So he kept climbing, and the candle was following him, and he was just like, okay, just climbed as fast as he could and got out of there.
Get out.
And that's the end of the story.
Fuck.
He's like, I just left. Didn't.
Oh, 100%. Get
Yeah.
out, dude. Don't even stay.
And there was one I'd seen where like somebody had like bent down to tie their shoe or something and just felt a finger on the back of their neck. Super
Right.
like ghost stuff.
Sure. There's
You
like
know?
there's that guy who his whole channel is doing ghost caves. Or not
Sure.
ghost caves, it's just caves.
Right.
But he has like one video. Although I found out recently, I guess his channel has turned into a bit of a haunted cave channel.
Oh,
But he
Lord.
had one
Well,
video.
dude, you get one
Yeah.
success and it's like, well, I guess I'm that guy now.
Yeah, well, yeah, for a bit it was the only one, and I liked it.
Right.
But it was like, yeah, he was in just an old mine, and there was just that one chain swinging way too violent. Dude, it's because there's a part where he's walking and he hears whispering like fucking parcel tongue.
Yeah.
And all that fog kicks up out of nowhere, and he's like, "What the fuck?"
And then I know this video.
It's a good one just because it's super subtle. I like it a lot.
Yeah. I think that one might have come up in the Urban Explorer thing, but just because of the rabbit holes that shoot off. of
Sure.
yeah. Because it's not urban.
Mines,
obviously, but-
mines are just developed caves.
Yeah, honestly. But yeah, and there was another one where
Caves with flooring.
this one was fucking cool as shit.
Right.
A guy and his girlfriend are exploring this cave, and there's like pretty dense fog even leading into the cave, you know.
Right.
And as they're going in there, they find on one of the rocks there's like elaborate patterns of animal bones on it.
Fuck that.
And the guy goes, hey, check those bones out. And his girlfriend is kind of like, we should probably leave.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
And he's just kind of like, nah, I mean, it's all right, it's whatever, it's just like animal bones, it's fine. But they're clearly placed in like patterns,
Sure.
you know what I mean?
Don't touch those.
And
leave.
yeah, don't touch them at all, and probably leave. But they're like, yeah, we can go. But his girlfriend just starts getting more and more distraught.
Yeah.
You know,
What the fuck's he gonna suggest?
And-
If we fucking bang right here too? Like
Probably
How many cliches
right
you want to
here.
hit before we
for
fucking
real.
get killed?
Maybe that's why he was bringing her down there.
Oh, you're right.
You know,
You're right.
Get some fucking. I've done some shit in some weird spots, man. So, but she just starts getting more and more distraught.
Yeah.
Until finally, it's like, all right, well, okay, let's just go. Let's just go. And as they're leaving, she's continuing to like break into tears and stuff, and it's gonna be a
Right.
problem. And she finally, as they kind of get back to their car, and she gets calmed down enough to where she's like, I can't believe you were saying that shit to me. And he's like, huh?
Well, what are you talking about?
Well, what do you mean? And she goes, after you pointed out the bones, she started saying about, hang on, I took a different notes on this page. And he says that there was, after you pointed the bones out, you
I
said,
like your fucking note.
huh? Yeah, well, because it goes, after you pointed the bones out, you said that they were a sign or an omen of great importance. And that, yeah, and that, hold on, it says here, she watched and she watched and listened in horror as he explained with glee about the spiritual importance of them being there to witness the ritual. And she went on like a 5-minute, like, detailed monologue
Yeah.
of what he was saying.
Right.
And he went, huh? I just said check out the bones.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
And so it was like, that's the fucking
Yeah,
weirdest
that's
thing I've ever
really
seen.
spooky.
And yeah. So there's some fucking, that was the only one I found that I was like, there's gotta be some like cult cave shit going on.
Oh,
That was the only one I found that was that.
I found there was some. I mean, there's a lot of like.
And there's ones that are haunted, like
Yeah.
I said Mammoth Cave earlier, there's like,
There's a lot of
they've
rakes.
seen, what?
There's a lot of rakes. you
Oh, I
know?
thought I said rapes.
Oh my
I
god.
was like, geez, well, maybe in caves at this point. But there was like in Mammoth Cave in Kentucky, people spot like tourists, quote unquote, in like old timey clothes,
Sure.
who like disappear after a while. They like
Right.
take a turn and they're gone.
You know, I mentioned it earlier. The Bell Witch Cave is actually super cool. 'Cause
Oh,
it's-
sure.
It's like a supposedly haunted cave that was near the house of the family that
Right.
spurned the Bell
I
Witch.
forget their name.
The Bells?
Was it the Bells?
Yeah, I think-
probably was, yeah.
They're the Bell, yeah, because
Like
the
the Bell
Bell
Farm?
Witch is not. Her name's not Belle. It's some lady's name.
Yeah.
that they think was the ghost.
It's a separate one. They think it was like
Right.
she had like summoned something because there was a rivalry with the guy
Right.
who was the patriarch of the family and whatnot. So
Yeah,
It's whatever.
it's a cool cave system. It's neat. It's got like a cool like cage door on the front.
oh, cool.
Yeah, it's super cool.
I love stuff mixed into caves is always fun. Like mines are cool,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but it's that's always just like the slats and the railroad ties that are like bordering the mouth of the cave. But I always like stuff that's like dwarf style built into
Yeah.
caves. Modern
Hewn from the
accoutrements and
living
stuff.
rock.
It's exactly. It's kind of the same thing in like a lot of buildings in New York would be like that really old architecture, like that old
Right.
school city shit. But they have like modern keypads and stuff built into it. I love that stuff. The mix of the old and new is very fun.
I saw one where it was neat because there was no like you didn't see anything. Well, you do see something, but not like that. But it's this guy and his dog, and it's like he's caving and shit, and
Right. Why'd you bring a dog caving? It sounds like dogs don't really.
it's pretty common.
Really?
Yeah.
It seems like a dog can't like get around as well as you would need it to.
Not like full on crawling around. It's
Okay.
usually like stuff you can walk in.
Okay.
So he's
well then,
bringing-
yeah,
yeah.
dogs can go wherever in that case.
It's a hoax for sure. I don't believe it's real, but it's very impressive because the dog is acting very off the whole time. Like
Spooked.
it's very it doesn't. It'll stay places. It'll pace around. The guy keeps being like, "What's wrong, bud?" But it'll dart off into the dark for a little bit.
That's not good.
And he'll go over to it. The dog will just be standing perfectly still in the dark, like looking away. And he's
Right.
like, you know what? And eventually the dog just fucking bolts off. And he's like, what happened?
Hey.
So he starts looking for his dog, and you hear the dog like pain
Oh
noise.
no!
But he's walking around like looking for his dog, and he's like looks, there's like a fucking precipice, so he doesn't go all the way over to it, but he looks, and there's like pillars and shit, and he's looking, and he like the camera moves, and he takes a step towards there's 2 pillars, and you can see something laying there, and he like the light hits it just enough to see it's definitely his dead dog.
Oh,
and
no.
he fucking freaks the fuck out and runs. And you're like, I'm like, that one's effective.
Yeah. Dude, look, I'm getting vengeance for my dog.
Dude, you're going in.
Because if you think I'm walking into a cave after the shit that I have researched about and know about, if you think I'm walking into a cave not packing heat, you're out your fucking mind.
Absolutely.
And if you kill my dog, we got some fucking issues.
Yeah,
I'm John Wick in your ass.
Now
man.
it's personal.
Yeah, dude. That dog didn't do shit to you. He was such a good boy.
He was a good boy. Yeah, it's a lot of people seeing like a thing at the end of a hallway, looking up and then running. It's really frustrating how much that is. There was
I mean, that's just...
I went down a cave painting rabbit hole. That was pretty
Sure,
cool.
yeah.
Of like, there's one where you have to like scuba dive for like several hundred feet to get to the chamber that it's in.
Okay. That's cool.
There was a pretty neat one.
Dude,
where...
some caves have really rad, like, inner ecosystems.
Yeah. There's that
like-
one in China they found where it's like a
Yeah.
whole little rainforest.
Yeah, dude.
It's like, what the fuck
that
is
stuff
doing
is
in
cool.
here?
That's like, that's when you fucking see that stuff and you're like, oh yeah, no Hollow Earth, huh?
Dude,
fucking
you see
piece of
that
shit.
and you're like, the Congo monkeys are in there
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, they're coming for you, man.
I'm out. But yeah, there's one I saw where they were talking about how people have pointed it out, but the video doesn't, which is what people think is really funny about it, because it's
They got to him. The government got
well,
to him.
they're looking at all the cave paintings and they're really good, like horses, oryx, shit like that, shit
Okay.
they would have seen.
Yeah.
People, it looks really well detailed, really well proportioned. Everything's very nice.
So
they-
with spray paint, it's like Miles Morales graffiti on there.
well, he's talking about the guy's just like a shitty like David Attenborough wannabe. But he's talking about how like detailed they are and how you really could tell that the artist like knew what he was doing. There's
Sure.
like there's perspective on some of the things, which are
Oh.
like to do that is kind of crazy.
Okay.
But he doesn't point out that there are like there's one of like people and something that looks like it's maybe 4 or 5 times taller than people that looks like a person but has like it looks like a gown but also maybe his octopus legs because it's weird looking. It's like a
Dude.
humanoid thing standing over, kind of like how you see like Egyptians have the tall god beings.
Right, yeah.
And he never points it
Yeah,
out.
you're going to gloss over that, huh?
Yeah, and people are
What
like,
you
what
doing?"
the fuck is that thing?
Yeah.
Like, what is that? Because then people are like, he talks about for so long how detailed it is and how, like, they obviously knew what they were looking at. So then they're like, so what is that thing?
Right. Not even going to touch on it, huh?
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
What the fuck? What
Oh,
an
man.
asshole. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, tell
Octopus
me
people are great.
about the God King of the cave.
Yeah, man. The Octopus God King. That's cool.
Somebody was talking, I saw a comment in one of the articles about it where they were like, they think it's just like one of those like fertility goddess things because it's like, well, it's like, probably a dress.
Oh, they're going to fuck it?
Well, it could be, like how they have those giant fat ladies with the big old boobles.
Oh, sure. Right.
So they're like, yeah, it probably is just some kind of like a thing that like a deific thing maybe, but
Yeah. But I mean,
Nobody knows.
if you're really going to talk up how detailed it is,
Yeah.
you can't just be like, yeah, but that one they made up.
that one's weird. Yeah, it's very strange.
You know what I mean? Like, there's like really detailed horses and oryxes and
Which I
fucking
love the idea
elk
of.
and whatnot.
I would love a cave horror movie that's got a lot like that is the impetus of we're going into a place that these cave people did all their murals on,
Right.
and do that, but like what the fuck were the cave people painting down here? Like
Sure.
what lives in here?
I mean, that's got to be a thing, right?
Like, most of the time it's just like they're like troglodytes. They're just like, well,
Yeah, I mean, there's
it's like
a lot
that
of
Joan
troglodytes.
Crawford movie Trog.
Yeah.
I almost watched it.
Oh no.
It's just it didn't look very scary though. It looked like it was funny.
Yeah, it probably is. But it's just, I mean, it just seems like such a readily available idea that
It's
you
too
can't-
good. Yeah.
Like it just seems impossible to me that it hasn't been done.
Right. I don't know.
But yeah, who the fuck knows? I mean, there's a lot of stuff
Yeah, here we are.
that is just like super obvious, but it's like, why isn't anybody doing that? Why don't you do that? But anyway, there's one interesting one from a guy named a dude named Floyd Collins.
Sure.
Was like a super prominent cave explorer, spelunker type guy, and he got into a spot and he died in a cave.
That happens.
It sure does happen, as we've covered. And they couldn't get his body out for a while, and finally the dude somebody, I guess, bought the cave. Like, he owns the cave now.
Sure.
And he got his body out and started displaying it at the entrance of the cave.
Bro.
And then now, you know, obviously the cave's haunted by that guy now.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
yo, if if the government wants, like, yo, if that guy starts haunting it, I call bullshit. That dude found gold, and he's like using all of this as a Scooby-Doo style
very
scam.
Scooby-Doo.
100%. It's 100%. It's there.
Very
It's in the face.
Scooby-Doo. If the Floyd Collins ghost is like Creeper-esque,
Yo.
then yeah, definitely some Scooby-Doo.
You could just be like a cool coal miner look, gas mask.
Yeah, too, like
pickaxe.
just like a skull on
Yeah,
it.
you don't need much. So I'm gonna dive into mine.
Do the good one.
Okay,
I'm
so
spent.
this is
I'm spent.
This is Dave's Angel Fire page. Now, this is a
Shit.
if you're in
Angel Fire.
if you're in the
like,
yeah,
hey,
oh yeah,
like pink background, bright yellow text.
oh yeah. And if you go to the actual one and don't look up a video where they read it to you, it's
You're
like
gonna wanna
it's
look
like
up a video.
purple and green text.
Oh
it
my
is
God.
fucking great. So, it is.
You want to talk about barrier for entry?
It is
shit.
Oh, it makes it so much better for me. Which
There's
is
a certain authenticity.
Oh
to
yeah,
it, I will admit.
That's me and Jake were reading In the House of Leaves.
Yeah.
And he was having trouble reading it because like it treats it like it's a textbook. Like you should know this information.
Right.
And it has citations to books that don't fucking exist.
Yeah.
Or annotations that correct things about things that don't exist. And he was like, I can't. This is
I just
impenetrable.
can't fucking
And
do it,
I'm
yeah.
sitting here like, dude, I'm chomping at the bit. I
Yeah.
fucking love this.
That's some fucking League of Extraordinary Gentlemen shit. I love that
Dude,
stuff.
it gets me. So yeah, Dave's Angel Fire page is it is a well-known creepypasta. Before
Okay.
I get that's not real. None of this is real.
Yeah,
Nobody
probably not.
actually ran into a
Except
thing.
for when you get stuck and starved to death. That's real.
This one though. This one is my all-time absolute favorite creepypasta.
Lay it
ever.
on me, baby. Lay it on
So,
me.
Dave's Angel Fire page details a guy named Dave and his friend. I think he calls him Billy or something because he's like, I'm changing all my friends' names for
To protect the innocent.
Yeah.
Sure.
So they love caving. They like going through caves. They find this one that they think is like a good one. So they have to rappel into it. That's a big detail. He goes in painstaking fucking detail, which is what's so good about it.
That's cool.
There are
Well, he's
so
probably,
it is page after page after page of detail about the rappelling process, the excavation process,
Yeah.
what it takes to get in and out of these fucking
Well, just
things,
'cause you-
what gear he uses,
Just because you know how to cave doesn't mean
Sure.
you can't make up a cool story.
diagrams about like drawings of what the entry hole they find looks like, diagrams of the pulley system. It's fucking it's so boring if you don't give a shit like I
Yeah,
do.
that's awesome.
But it sells you because by the time shit starts popping off in it, you are
Invested.
so in, and that's
just
what
believe.
that's part of the realism to it.
Yeah, I like that stuff a lot too.
And the fact it's on Angel Fire of all things is so fucking weird.
yeah. Well, that stuff is cool because it's like, yeah, it's not.
It's like a lost relic.
like
of the
you
internet.
found something that wasn't supposed to be. Yeah.
So yeah, it details they find this cave, or they find a like a drop off that goes down, and they find there is a cave. It's not even a cave. It's a. They find that this opening, like it almost looks like the mountain cracked apart.
Okay.
Like in a wedge almost.
A crevasse.
And they rappel into it, and they find that there is a hole like that big, like maybe baseball sized.
Okay.
And they shining a light in, they're like, "Yo, this is the other side of a chamber."
Oh.
Like there is a whole chamber in there that looks like a cave system.
Okay.
Like a tunnel. And they're
Let's
like,
get in there.
They shine it. Yeah, it's like a small tunnel they can crawl through, and then they're like we can round it kind of. So like a good fucking chunk of this is them they get drills and hammers, and they're just trying to make the fucking hole big enough to just get in.
yeah.
And it goes for a bit, and there's a part where they hear wind starts coming out, and they're like, oh, there's a chamber in there, like
Right.
that's good, that's
Good
a good
sign,
sign. So they're all fucking hype about it. And there's at one point he's talking about drilling, and he hears something screaming.
Oh.
Like he stops drilling to like let it cool, and then he hears it as it's trailing off, and he's like, so he looks at his buddy, And his buddy's standing up because he was like they work in shifts. Like one of them will lay down for a while in the pitch darkness while the other one has the headlamp.
Yeah.
And his buddy's just like, "Did you fucking hear that?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, something must have got in there. Obviously, we don't know how far this cave system goes."
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's
then-
true if there's another entrance, something wandered in there, broke its leg or something.
Sure.
Sure.
And then that's the only thing that happens for so long, because then it goes right back to work, boring,
Right.
diagrams, descriptions, pictures of it. Eventually they get in. And they start bringing a dog. They talk about how they rappel the dog down. They like having it there. It likes running around the caves.
Sure. Dogs are fucking awesome.
So it's if I remember correctly, it's like they get in and it's like a chamber and then a pathway and then a large room, a big rock that looks like it's shifted recently, a passage with water on another side, and then another room that has what is it? It's like diagrams, like weird, and he draws what they look like, but it's like weird stone carvings, like something, something clearly carved in like a weird shape of something in
All
there.
right. Like a painting, so to speak.
Kinda, yeah. Like it's like etched into the rock.
It's but it's trying to it's trying to create something.
Yeah, but it's like symbols.
It's not just okay, but it's not just like claw marks in the wall.
No, it's like symbols.
Okay.
So they're like, that's weird. And once again, they keep hearing shit. They hear that scream again. They're getting spooked. They start bringing an extra guy.
Probably a good move.
Yeah, although there's a point where that guy goes in by himself.
Oh man.
Well, he goes in, like they're outside. That guy crawls in, and they lose contact with him. He just
Okay.
stops calling back. Like he stops calling out for
Right.
a while, and then eventually he just reappears and he crawls out and he looks like shit. And he's like, "I want to go home." And they're like, "What happened?" And he's like, "I don't want to talk about it. I just want to go home. I don't feel very good anymore." So they take him home, and he just doesn't. He stops calling, like returning calls. Like
Right.
he's like, "I'm not going back. I'm sorry." Like, what happened? He's like, "I don't want to talk about it." He's like, "I just don't like that place. It's freaking me out." So it's mostly like they get an uneasy feeling. And there's this fucking.
Isn't that just the worst though?
It's awful.
when you're like somebody clearly has had contact with whatever weird
Yeah.
shit is, and they're like, "No, I don't want to talk about it."
I
Like,
can't.
well, you fucking got it, man. Sorry.
But yeah, it's super good. Essentially, the big like climax of it, as it were, is his buddy is outside still, and Dave goes in, and he goes all the way to the chamber with the carvings.
Okay.
And he's sitting there doing something, and it's he describes it, it's really tight, like he can't really stand up where he is
Okay.
all the way.
Kind of like slumping.
Sure.
All right.
And then he hears something like scratching around behind him. I forgot that. They do hear that a lot. They'll hear something that sounds like stone on stone, like scraping,
Oh.
like rhythmically, like
okay.
and he hears that shit again behind him, and he stands up and fucking like clonks himself out.
Right.
And he falls and it breaks his headlamp. So he's like I'm in there in pitch darkness. They get like a shitty like radio, but he's like, that's not working.
Yeah.
And he's like, holy fuck, I can't see where I'm going.
This is bad.
Yeah. So he's like, I gotta go through that room where I just heard that noise. Like, so he calls out and his friend doesn't answer. He's like, well, it's far away. He probably can't hear me. And it's just this tense fucking description of how he felt walking into just darkness with like
Yeah.
glow sticks, like little glow sticks, like dropping them.
Yeah.
And like keeping his eye out for anything.
Sure.
And he describes he doesn't see anything. Nothing jumps at him, nothing attacks him. But he gets to that fucking stone and it's moved. And there's like another passage that goes deeper. And he's like, what?
Yeah. Problem.
But yeah, he gets out. He gets out and he's like, we gotta get the fuck out of here. And his friend's
Right.
like, why? And he's like, we gotta get the fuck out of here because they still have to rappel up.
Right.
And they get the dog out, and then he goes up, and Dave goes up, and they're up there at the top, and he talks about, like, he's like, I didn't even really realize it for a minute, but I was sitting there, he's trying to catch my breath, and he's talking to me, and he's trying to figure out what the fuck freaked me out. And then he goes, yo, your pack. And he looks, and his pack, which is tied, has a rope to it, to the pulley system, the rope is just getting yanked back into the cave really fast. Like something is just reeling it in. Really
Take it
quick.
off, take it
yeah,
off,
they
take it off.
fucking rip the rope off right away, and they watch it just fly in there. Like something just yanked it in there as fast as it could, and they're like, "What the fuck is in there?"
Yeah.
Because now they're like, it's clearly something's going on, and they don't know what.
That is super cool.
Yeah, and they, and it's got a one of those like classic like creepypasta like spooky story endings where
Sure.
they're like, we're done with this fucking cave. But
Yeah.
then he's like, I keep thinking about it, and I hate that we don't know what the fuck it
Gotta
was.
go back.
He's like, yeah, so he tells his friend's like, I haven't been able to sleep very well since then. I keep fucking waking up to shit, like noises in my house, like I don't like it. And he's like, we gotta go back then, dude. But it's like him going like, and we're not going back at night, we're going back during the day, and we're bringing guns. Like, I have a handgun, I know he has a hunting rifle. We're gonna go in there and we're gonna
go
see what's in that hole.
Slay a beast.
And he's like, I will update when we're back. And that's the last fucking entry in the Age of Fire page.
Oh man.
And it's so
classic.
fucking. I remember the first time I read it, it was Priscilla was pregnant with my fucking son years ago. And I was sitting at my desk with my laptop with my desk lamp on, and I was reading it, and I was like, at the end of it, I closed the page and I was like, fuck. I was so fucking. I was like, I don't like this now.
Yeah,
It's
it's
too dark
bad.
in this room. I was. If something about the rope getting pulled in, I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, heart sinking. I was like, dude, this is fucking horrifying.
Yeah, man, that very classic creepypasta setup too.
It doesn't overdo it though, like a
No.
lot of them do.
A lot of them
it's
get
so good.
nuts, but those early ones, man, are fucking chef's kiss.
I see so many people bitch about Dave's caving page because like it's so hard to get through, and I'm like, no, that's the part that like
That legitimizes what you're.
by the time I
Yeah.
got to the first like stone on stone noise, I was like fucking petrified.
Yeah, because it's a guy who's been doing this. He knows what he's talking about. He
Yeah.
knows his gear. Which also is like, if it's fake, which it fucking
100% is.
probably is,
Oh,
it's a guy who is
At least knows his
into
shit.
caving and stuff enough to fucking accurately
Yeah.
suck you into the world. Be like, look, I know what
Sure.
I'm talking about. I know what I fucking saw. Super good.
No, it's fucking great. I to get ready for this, I listened to a guy read it
Oh, sure.
to
Yeah.
get through it because I
Have
don't
to check it out. I think I've heard about it before.
Sure. I mean, it's around. It's one of the big ones.
Yeah, because there's only like probably about maybe a dozen like really good,
Actually good at creepypastas.
famous ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good shit.
But yeah, that's my big one because it's got an air of legitimacy about it,
Sure.
as much as any of these fucking videos of
Yeah.
a rake jumping out at people have.
Yeah. Well, it's more so than that.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
it's fucking rad. I love it a lot. Definitely worth a read. More than anything we've watched today outside of The Descent. Like, go watch The Descent and read Dave's caving page.
Yeah, you can trim this episode down by about 2.5 hours, and just go watch and read that. You're gonna have a good time.
So do you have any more or?
No.
All right. Well,
Even if I do, I'm not even gonna look. I don't even care.
let's main event this shit.
No.
So-
no. Main event.
We watched The Strangeness.
The strangeness.
Which is a big old schlocky like 1980s B movie
it
classic.
was
It's
fun.
forgotten. Nobody
It's
knows
fun.
about The Strangeness, which is
I didn't know about the strangeness until this
I mean,
horseshit.
for reasons. It's not great.
I mean, it's fine. You could leave it alone though.
Sure, yeah, definitely. You could live your whole life without knowing.
Yeah.
Well, you can do that with any B movie. I feel
Probably.
you don't need to watch anything.
Not really. I mean, honestly, you can just leave it at that. You don't need to watch anything.
Yeah.
You don't need to.
But yeah, so The Strangeness is about a mine that is like people have failed to like use it
There's-
effectively multiple times.
There's gold in it.
There's gold. There's a whole subplot. I say whole subplot. There's a whole scene about a Native American curse maybe being on it, but that's like a fake out.
That honestly goes away
Yeah.
right away.
It's like a fake out.
Brought up
'cause-
once.
Yeah, so it's like a team of college students, people.
Some of them probably are.
So yeah, it's
Well, they're cavers for hire
yeah.
slash.
Well, there's like
research folk.
There's
and-
like a professor, a writer, and
Is that
his-
what he's supposed to be?
I don't know what.
Who's
the
the
fuck.
professor?
I think that's Hennings. Is that guy's name?
No, Henning's like company man. He's the
He is, yeah. He's something like that. But he wants to go in there, and he's got a writer and his wife, a caver and a guy, Because there's that dude with the beard that
Yeah.
you have no idea what he's. Then there's a
the one that kind of looks like
yeah.
my dad.
There's a Scottish guy who we thought was the caver.
He's British.
He has experience mining, is the thing. I
Yeah.
think is his, because we were like, weren't you the caver?
Yeah, why are you asking for advice?
And then
I thought you were the dude.
there's- Was there anybody else?
There's
Is there? Oh, there's that girl. There's that lady
The-
who dies right away.
yeah,
She's the rock licker.
she's a rock licker. Yeah,
A
okay. Yeah.
geologist?
So rock licker, writer, his wife, bankroll guy, like financier, the two caver guys, and then what is his name? It was like Maurice Malley, something like that. The British guy,
Oh, fuck, what was it? Morgan.
Morgan. That's
Yeah.
right. And yeah, that's the whole team.
And they're going in there for reasons.
Yeah, for I guess gold.
Well, the big reveal. I mean, not big reveal. The guy bankrolling it wants to find gold in there that might
Yeah.
still be left behind.
And he sent two hippies in there
to like blast it open.
at the beginning of the movie to blast it open or explore or something, and then they get murked like right away.
Yeah. So they're in there.
So Hemmings,
Is it Hennings? It's like Hennings. Or something
Hemmings,
like
I
that.
think it was what it was.
But yeah,
He's like, now I gotta go in there myself with
Yeah.
a full team and get it done.
So yeah, he's in there. He's in there for gold. I don't know what everybody else is in there. Like the pretense everybody else goes in there
I
for.
think for just the prestige of being cave guy.
Yeah, they're not much. Yeah, like chart this like lost mine.
Yeah,
and
or at
shit.
least some. Well, one of them is the geologist, and she's trying to be like, yeah, what kind of rocks are down here?
Yeah.
The one guy is a writer. He's trying to chart there's like the golden spike.
That's what it's called, the gold spike. Yeah.
Okay, and he's trying to be like, yeah, we're gonna open it. There was two unsuccessful
Yeah.
attempts. One of them being the one they're on right now.
Yeah.
His wife.
I like
who I guess
his-
is just along for
I
the
like
ride.
him for the first third, where
Yeah.
he keeps like giving a grandioseness to like mundane shit, like
He's
just walking
definitely-
into a hole.
He's like upping the ante of everything,
Yeah.
making him way more badass than it really is.
He does that great. Yeah, he does that. He's like the two failed attempts. It's like, what were they? It's like, well, it was the first one, and then
And
ours.
this one,
and it's like, yo, dude, you're fucking
like,
you-
yeah, I appreciate your optimism.
yeah. He's got. I like him for the first.
He's like
bit.
adding zeros to numbers and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, it was 300 feet. It was like, oh, 3,000 feet, huh?
It's like, no, I said 300. Yeah, and then the rest of them who were there.
Yeah.
There's not much characters.
No.
The rock licker doesn't. Essentially, to stop beating around the bush, they find out the reason this mine has failed to open is because there is like a big, like
Pussy face caterpillar octopus monster.
yeah, it's like a big caterpillar that like it does what Ed does in that episode of Ed, Ed and Eddie where he gets people and he
Yeah.
like, vomits
Cocoons
cereal
them
on
to
them.
the- yeah.
It does that. He melts you down and eats you.
That's a good
yeah,
episode.
It
man.
has a vagina for a head.
It's got a pussy for a face.
100%.
And I think its body is mostly like caterpillar but made of brain.
It looks gross.
And it's got some like
yeah.
tentacles coming out of it.
It's a pretty like decent Harryhausen stop motion style
Oh, yeah.
effect. That
Well, for the most part.
yeah, for the most part, clearly for the budget. That suffers from not being good enough to be on screen enough.
No. You
And
never
then-
see the fucking thing.
No, it's really sad. Well, you get like that one long shot before it blows up.
Which is honestly fine. You get, glimpses of it as
Sure.
classic monster movie stuff,
Oh yeah. But yeah, so they go down and then a cave-in happens, and then they start getting picked off. That's the movie.
It's essentially it, yeah.
It's
Them
not
trying
very
to find their way
great.
out, very Descent style.
Sure.
They're just trying to find their way out while not getting killed by a thing that's
Yeah.
killing stuff.
Yeah. I think this movie's fine.
It was fun to watch. We
It's
had a good
fun as
time.
hell. It's definitely worth like watching as like
Yeah.
a B movie.
We had a good time watching it.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. There's a lot of fun characters. There's a lot of fun lines. There's a lot of weird shit.
Yeah.
A lot of camp that like it's not intentional, obviously.
Super good. Some character choices are
Interesting.
questionable in funny ways.
Remember when the caber guy like bumps into the writer's wife and
Yeah.
like licks the
He
hand?
leaks,
that
he's like,
touched her?
yeah, it's like, all right.
What is he doing?
Stop.
Well, it's weird because that happens and you think, okay, they're like creeps, but then that dude's the hero of the movie,
Yeah.
and you're like,
Well, it turns
Yeah.
out that guy is like the only
dude that knows what he's doing.
well, not only the only competent dude, but he's like the only decent man
Yeah.
among them, really. because he's like, once people start dying, he's like, okay, we got to get everybody out of here. He's really like emotionally moved when people start getting picked off.
He doesn't like it. He's like, dude, we got to get out of here.
Yeah, he's every time somebody gets killed, he's like feeling it. He's like, oh my god, another one, and everybody's attacking him.
Yeah, they're all
just like, you killed these people. He's like, what?
Yeah, they really want you to think he's fucking up or something. It feels.
Yeah,
there's that great part where what's her name? What's that girl's name? Nancy Clancy.
Which one? The wife?
writer's wife. I can't remember. But
Clarice.
Clarice or something like that. But she's like hysterical, and he like skullcock slaps her.
He does come across her face.
The guy goes, "Hey man, that's not cool," and he goes, "I know." It's like, what the fuck?
He didn't want to do that. He just couldn't help it.
I know, it's so good.
He's a surprisingly human character.
He's got range.
You know?
Yeah, there's parts where he's like, when there's a part where they're trying to escape from the monster, and like his buddy, the room caves in and traps him halfway, and he gets drugged off screen because they can't show it happen. They don't have the money for it.
Yeah.
But he has a good long
cry,
weep in the dirt.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa. I feel bad that this guy didn't get a role.
For sure.
Yeah, there's some good acting, some interesting choices. I think I genuinely do think the monster looks fucking rad.
It's a cool concept, and I
like that it's not just dude in cave.
Yeah,
it's like a big
beastie
old thing that was just crawling around there.
Yeah,
probably,
I like
living off moisture.
Even the style of effect that it is. It's like I like stuff like that. It's ingenuitive in a way, you know.
And I mentioned earlier that it's a movie set in, you called it out, like it looks like it's a Halloween maze full of plastic bags almost.
It's just got like crumpled paper grocery bags.
Even then they're doing like the tenets of a good cave movie.
Yeah.
Like, tight shots, good lighting, the
very claustrophobic
flares, and the lanterns are always like in play.
See, that's the thing is they don't have glow sticks though, so they don't really. They can't play with color as much. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, they just didn't have the snap.
There's that rat shot though where it's almost like above them, kind of from a distance, where everybody's got a different light source.
Yeah, it's just on another.
Yeah, and you can see like where everybody kind of is, and you see them that like it tracks them down like that path. That's pretty cool.
That was a pretty good shot.
There's a lot of cool shots.
There was another one that was when Morgan gets taken away, and it just kind of like
he was caught like leaning over a pit trying to get his flare
back, and then he just gets drug off, and then it just shows the hole with the light from the flare
going out,
coming out of it, and it just slowly dies.
Yeah,
that was a good shot. The fucking glass, you remember?
That's a fucking great shot.
That was really well done.
Too fucking good for this movie. It's so weird. Yeah, they're like talking. The miners put up mirror shards.
They like broke a bunch of mirrors. Yeah,
because they wanted to be able to look at any end of the hallway and see what was like around it, because this thing kept sneaking up and picking people up.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's Hennings or something is like standing there talking, and Morgan is talking to him, and there's this one mirror shard in the foreground that like it keeps going back and forth.
It's like swinging
and
not swinging, but what is it? It's like rotating.
It's tilted. Yeah, it's like
and it only shows Morgan in the reflection of the broken shard of mirror for when he's talking.
Yeah.
And then it fades away
while Hennings is talking. Yeah. And then when it comes back around, I don't know how the fuck they did it.
I think they had a sturdy, like a stick, like a rod.
Yeah.
That when you're hanging something from the ceiling, it's just a straight stick.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be.
So I think it just seems like it was a rope because it was made
of the same shit. The reflection looks. It's so good.
It was a very, very well done shot. It was probably my favorite shot of the movie.
I looked up the director. They've done nothing.
Really?
Barely anything else. They've done other stuff, but I'm like, dude, what? This feels like this was your first rough movie and you had a promising career.
Showed potential.
Yeah,
absolutely.
For sure. It's got a lot. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just like a standard one of these.
Yeah, bullshit.
People in cave picked off. There's some hilarious, like unintentionally hilarious stuff when Hennings goes full Ahab about the gold, because he's got like 2 pieces of small gold nuggets.
It's so tiny.
Yeah, tiny, and he's already gone crazy.
Yeah, of course.
It's wonderful.
Full fucking Humphrey Bogart treasures.
He gets mad and he slaps the girl, and he's like, "Get out of me! You just want my gold!" But then she runs away, and he goes, "Wait a minute! I need you!" And you're like, "What?"
Henning, you make up your fucking mind. Get your shit together, Hennings.
But yeah, they handle it. It's one of these. There's not much to talk about other than what it did right.
Which honestly isn't much.
There's that part when it eats Hennings, and you were like, "That's awful."
It's so bad. I kept telling the movie, I was like, quit showing it.
Yeah, it looks like
Stop
he has a
showing
hold
it.
of a Gumby doll.
It
Like,
looks like Mr. Bill
Yeah,
got
it looks
jacked
so
by
bad.
fucking the monster,
and they keep showing it because they're like
Over and over
Yeah,
again.
they're like, well, we need glory shots. We barely showed this damn thing.
it's so fucking bad, dude.
Yeah.
It looks really bad. And I was like, dude, buy a Ken doll.
Yeah.
Dress it in Henning's clothes.
Yeah.
Like, what are you
Anything
doing?
else?
What are you doing? Even if you couldn't find Henning's clothes in a Ken doll, buy Ken dolls with that clothes and match Henning's clothes
Yeah.
in pre-production.
Yeah, just figure this out.
You know what I mean?
You know? Yeah, it was really silly the way it played out.
It looks, seriously, it brought me, I'm not, it broadened me out, because it brought me down, but it also
Yeah,
skyrocketed
yeah.
my enjoyment, because like, oh, we're really doing
this is
stuff.
honestly, it's a great B movie.
I agree.
It's not. It's weird because it's not great, but it's competent in a
Yeah.
lot of great places that
There's-
you can go. That's cool.
There's enough of it in there. It's mainly the main guys. What's his name? It's like Clayton or something.
Yeah.
It's like I don't remember his name. The main
His-
guy.
Yeah.
The mustache guy.
There's Jeff. Is he Jeff?
I think he's Jeff, but they call him by his last name a lot.
Right. That's right, because somebody is named Myron, but we don't know who, because they
Yeah.
only use it in the subtitles once, and we were like, who the fuck was
Who's
Myron?
Myron? Has he been here the whole time? Is the monster's name Myron?
Awesome.
But yeah, that guy, his performance in it is actually like kind of standout.
Sure.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
But then when you couple it with that shot of Hennings getting jacked by the monster, and it's just like the worst thing you've ever seen.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, man, I bet that guy was super pissed when
Oh,
he's
yeah.
watching this movie. He's like, bro, I tried.
Yeah,
I tried in
definitely
this movie.
tried.
And this is just fucking.
I think him, the writer, they both tried really hard to be like on it.
Yeah, I mean, there's some character movement, so to speak.
Sure.
Like as far as on the spectrum of.
It feels like they didn't know who the main character was.
Yeah.
Because it
It's
starts.
supposed to be like the writer
Yeah.
at first.
It feels like it's him, and the two other guys are like creeps.
Yeah.
And then at a point,
or
the
just
writer,
like hired.
yeah, the writer
yeah,
stops
hired
doing
creeps.
anything, and then he dies pretty unceremoniously. Just
Yeah.
not even. We don't even see it really.
You
see-
don't. You hear him scream.
You find his body. They find his body.
Do they?
Yeah, the caver guy, because he sees the wedding ring on him.
Oh,
It's
sure.
the dripping, which is actually a good reverse shot to like they clearly filmed him pouring shit on him, and then they ran it reverse so it was dripping.
Right.
Classic.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, it's like that happens, and then it feels like they did another pass at the like draft of the movie, and they were like, we already filmed the first third, but now this caver guy's the main character,
Right.
because he out of nowhere is like, hello, I am a hero.
I am this guy, and we're gonna get you out of this.
Yeah. They do the final stand is pretty classic. They blow it up, obviously.
It's The Thing. The score was pretty good too. Speaking of The
yeah,
Thing,
the score is fucking awesome.
super John Carpenter,
Yeah, extremely.
which is like we were saying. It was like I wouldn't be surprised if this was like some
Yeah.
proto John Carpenter
Right?
shit, but it was like way too late in the
it's
game.
clear that this guy liked John Carpenter.
Yes. I mean, just from the music alone.
Sure.
Even, well, it could just be the guy who wrote the music was like, you know, it was cool. John Carpenter, dude.
John Carpenter. What if John Carpenter did the score?
Yeah, you never know. I mean, it's got some real, like, The Thing.
Yeah.
And,
The guy was like, John, I can't afford a soundtrack. Can you whip something up in like
can
an
you
hour?
just fucking, and he's like, yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Duh, 100%.
Real, The
I'm John
Thing-
Carpenter.
What else did I say, too? It was The Thing, and it's like mixed with something else that I forget
Yeah.
what I said. And I'm trying to picture it now, but I can't remember.
Right.
Because it's not really the fog.
There was that shot though that we were like, "Yo, that's
I was
like a
like,
fog shot."
that is
yeah.
the, like, straight out of the fog.
they come out of a hole. Yeah, they're coming out of a hole and it's all misty and shit. But
Yeah.
it's just their like lanterns coming through.
Yeah,
a
it was
shot.
good. That was well done.
Yeah, they blow it up, and they get it.
Assault on Precinct 19.
That's it. Yeah,
That's what it was.
They flip it around, like because I said they set it up so to blow up, but they dive in the water and then it does the build up to it exploding, but
Yeah.
they're all just underwater. And I'm like,
Just like looking up, waiting for
yeah,
it.
I'm like, no, you're supposed to dive in the last second, so we don't wait like painfully for this to blow up.
What the fuck? While we're like a Looney Tune watching the
Yeah.
fuse burn out into the fucking plastic explosive.
And then we get that great bit where it explodes, and all of a sudden they're outside.
They're just
in
outside
in the
in the
ocean,
Yeah, I was like, how did you
seeing
What?
the mountain explode.
Which looks like that was a pretty good
Yeah.
effect too. It was like it looked like they were looking at the island from Jason and the Argonauts, where they fight the giant copper dude.
Yeah.
The Colossus, I think it's called. I forget.
Yeah.
But
it's got a really cool like end sting where it goes back down in to the mine where everything's all blown out.
Yeah.
And it's got that fucking like doom doom fucking the thing ending.
Yeah.
And you hear it start slithering again.
I'm gonna call those thing thumps now.
Think thumps.
Thump thump.
I liked it a lot.
It's fun.
It does take what we said about The Descent, apply it to this, but make it look like it was made in a garage.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it is.
You got it in spades.
Yeah.
No goblins. There's just one weird pussy monster.
I like that a lot, though. I like
that it's like one weird old one.
it's a weird because there's so much weird shit in caves, like
Yeah, absolutely.
that we find like tube worms and shit.
Oh, yeah.
It's cool that it's that.
It's just the thing is that something that size can't sustain itself in a cave.
Moisture. Whatever.
Unless it's like a killer fungus or something, yeah. But then it's not going to worry about killing you because it doesn't eat you.
I mean, it could be like a tardigrade, like a big. It just like laid in stasis for a while.
Yeah, I guess.
Until a bunch of hippies fucking blew it open with dynamite.
Right. I guess.
It's a monster movie.
I know. No. I'm saying if you were to like try and be like, what if one of these things is real? It's not though.
No, 100% no. But I like the idea of it being like a weird grub thing.
Yeah, just like an unknown cave bug.
Yeah, you're just like, what the fuck is this? It'd be like doing one of those cave spiders, the weird folded up arms.
Yeah, dude.
A big one though, like with huge legs and shit.
That's cool.
Snap out
With,
at
like
you?
Shelob size.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That would be dope.
But yeah, I fucking like this movie a lot. It's fun. This is perfect, a perfect candidate for a remake because it's good, but it's not great, and it could easily be made a lot better.
Yeah.
If you just kept what worked and then played on it. You could even make a sequel set now. Because of the
like they
stinger.
find it. Yeah, it's true. I mean, the thing's not dead.
Dude, find that dude. Have him be the crazy old dude you always get in movies. Like, you don't want to go up in that fucking cave.
You don't know what's
dude.
there.
And he's like, no, I think we'll be fine.
It'll be all right. And then he has to come back and save their ass. Be like, I fucking told you.
He has to deal with that shit. He's
yeah.
like, don't fucking let it get.
Dumb fuckers. We should look him up. I wonder if he's still around. You know?
I wonder, yeah.
Like,
Get them both.
He'd just be like, we need you to grow your mustache back.
Oh, he never got rid of it. It's probably like this fucking like 4
it's
feet
just like
long
Fu
now.
Manchu, yeah.
That'd be fucking rad.
Sure. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. But I like, a lot of people might not. I feel like the people who were listening to this, if you're the type of crowd that I assume you are, you're going to like it.
100%.
That's good stuff. Tie you on a buzz. Watch this movie, man. It's pretty strange.
Oh, the strangeness is strange.
That's what I kept saying too when like someone would get murdered. Like
the strangeness.
You got strangeness.
Was that the strangeness?
Oh man, it sounds like the strangeness coming up here.
Oh man.
I think you should call it a strangeness. It's not the strangeness.
It could do with a better title for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not. Yeah, it's like I had a really good time watching it. Super fun.
That's all we have really to say about caves.
I mean,
at least all the stuff we've talked. That's all of our subjects essentially.
Yeah, I can't think. I mean, what else can we say even about the main event movie?
You ain't gonna catch me crawling into a cave.
No.
Not
Are you out of your fucking mind?
Absolutely not.
No.
Creature or not.
It's one of those things where, like, you'll be watching movies like this, or, maybe similar movies, and somebody, through no fault of their own, has to go through a cave to survive or save somebody or whatever. Mm-hmm. That's what fucking freaks me the fuck out. It's like, shit, now I have to do this.
Yeah.
Keep it together. Don't freak out, because if you freak out, you're definitely going to die.
Yeah.
I always think that, too, about when people have to go underwater to do things in movies.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I'm fucking dead. If I got to crawl through a fucking human-sized tunnel underwater, I'm like, I'm fucking dead. Dude, I'm going to freak out and die.
Yeah. There was fucking one where it's not really a cave, but it wasn't really a cave, but it freaked me out where it was these two guys kayaking in like Alaska and they got swept up in like a bad current and they got thrown at glaciers and it was like it flipped them so they were like half underwater, half glacier, just sliding underneath the thing, holding their breath.
Oh my god.
And they popped up just long enough for the next glacier to fucking clip them, and they just had to keep holding their breath for longer stretches and shit. No, that shit's horrifying.
Dude.
I don't know. You ain't catching me dead. You'll probably catch me dead in a cave.
Yeah, you'll find my body.
I ain't going in no cave.
I gotta do it. Not on purpose.
No, they're spooky. They're spooky in like a weird way too.
It would suck to like be knocked out and be like you wake up in a cave. You're like,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
They're spooky in it of themselves. Like they alone just like the baggage a cave has is like upsetting.
I wonder if there's anything to, and this is some real armchair anthropology right here, but if there's a certain amount of, because caves were like natural, definitely like proto-humans took shelter in caves, for sure.
Right.
So I wonder if, my bad, hang on. I'm gonna die. I got tuberculosis. I'm dying of tuberculosis.
It's got the consumption.
I need to go to a dry climate and start shooting people, playing cards and stuff. These are Doc Holliday references. Anyway, I wonder if there's something to that about, since there's like a natural draw to like feeling safe in caves because we used to like take shelter in them.
Sure.
But also there's a natural mystery because I bet like you would take, some proto-humans would take shelter in caves and just get murked by whatever's already living in the cave.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's a conflicting ideal.
There's
case.
I should have brought it up earlier, but there's a thing called the Mystery of the Amigara Fault, which is a Junji Ito story about a earthquake cracks a cliff face in half.
Okay.
And there's hundreds, thousands, I think, but of people-shaped holes all along the mountainside.
Whoa.
And people like pilgrimage over to it to see it. And then somebody finds a hole that is like their silhouette, and they get into it and they start like shimmying into it.
Right.
And then as he's going, people are like, dude, get out of there. And people keep going in there. They have to like put armed guards out to keep people from fucking going in there, because the first guy, they find out very quickly, it's like the whole the shape stops being perfect and starts becoming too small or distorted. So you just keep
You have
your
to, like-
twitches keep working you farther in, but it
Right.
tightens up and you can't get out now.
You just got to keep going.
Yeah, and they're just like, what the fuck? And like the two main characters are just like drawn to it, and the main guy is just like, well, I'm gonna go in there because my life sucks. I'm just gonna see what it's all about.
Right,
I'm being
fuck it.
drawn to this, and it's got such a fucking killer ending where like another earthquake hits and the back half of the mountain cracks open, and the holes on that side are like vaguely torso-like and then spirally limbs, and then they look in flashlight into one because they're like, well, it's been weeks, everybody's dead in there, right? And
Yeah.
they flash the light. No, one of them is barreling in, and he's like a fucking twisted, roiling shape.
Cool.
Coming out that's all blind and shit. It's fucking rad as hell. But that's got that idea because the guy, the main guy, has a dream about cavemen using it as like a punishment, like execution style, like send
Oh.
people in there.
Right.
But it's got a lot of that where it's like that. There's like a primeval connection to this like natural thing, this
Sure.
hole in the ground that is at once safety, but also like bears are in there.
Yeah. Could be a problem. Could save your life. Welcome to caves, everybody.
Welcome to caves. That's all we got to say about caves.
I think so.
I picked our next topic
Did you really?
at the top of this one while
You
we were
sounded
setting
like
up.
sounded like you were having trouble.
I
earlier.
didn't do it ahead of time. I flipped a coin, but I like the one we're doing. We are going to do the end of days.
Oh
Like-
shit! Apocalypse.
Apocalypse, yeah, apocalyptic scenarios. Whether that be rapture, whether that be, natural disaster, just the worldwide breakdown of society and
I
survival.
thought this was a horror show, not a
My
my
life,
dream come
yeah.
true show.
Well,
No, it's not my life because this is the ramp up to dystopia, not society.
all it takes is
Road
one
warrior.
person to fire a nuke, and it stops being dystopian. And it becomes
Yeah,
real
but then
world.
you're just gonna get sick and die, though.
That's what happens, Zach.
No, dude, society's just gotta break down because the oil's not there, and then we all get to wear chaps and carry around sawed-off shotguns.
I get to wear fucking
And get-
shit 80s rock stars would wear.
Dude, and then like we could drive rad cars around.
Cut
and
my
stuff.
lips off. Call my face Skullman.
dude, and fucking put spikes on our tires and stuff. Come on.
I'm just waiting for the day. But I
And
have
then your partner that you butt fuck gets like cleaved in the head with a.
I'm not gonna have a partner. I
Boomerang.
don't think I can take it. If
Did
guys
you
hit them-
just told me last night,
they're
right?
sons.
that
Yeah,
they're not.
It's their father and son.
No, they're not.
They
dude.
100%
He's
are.
butt fucking that dude.
Well, he's butt fucking his son then.
Look, I don't know nothing about that part, but I know for a fact they're butt fucking. I don't know anything about familial relations.
We go in, we fuck.
We fuck.
Yes, though.
Yeah.
Apocalypse, end of days. It's kind of a broad topic. We have some fun. We can narrow it down.
Oh, sure.
I have picked our movie.
What's the movie?
This is a very interesting gray area.
Okay, that's a fact.
What I liked, it's a very rare movie that is it's a pre-apocalyptic movie.
Oh.
It's good. It's called Take Shelter with Michael Shannon. I've talked about it a bit around the group.
I think I know this movie, but I've never seen it.
It's fucking real rad. Just a brief tease. It's about a guy who starts having he starts having apocalyptic dreams, and he's
We
like,
talked
I need
about
to
it.
build a bunker.
We talked about it in Aliens.
Yeah,
In the Aliens episode.
but
Because he's got like modern Noah's Ark shit going on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know about this movie.
yeah. But it's a great, very barely any movies do like pre-apocalyptic.
Right.
That idea of like impending doom, and like how you see like the beginnings of society almost like
Sure, crumbling out.
unraveling, but it's through the lens of this guy, like because nobody else buys it. They're all like, "What are you talking about?"
Whatever. Very Noah's Ark.
But it's very good. I'm actually very excited to watch it again because this movie was like a fun B movie, and I think Take Shelter is genuinely good.
Right. Dude, fucking Michael Shannon, huh?
100%. He's never bad in anything, even
Give
the
it up.
shit he's in.
Give it up for Michael Shannon, huh? Mm-hmm. Let's do it.
But that's all we have for this week's episode. Please do your research on, end of the world scenarios, whether that be the Rapture or Mount St. Helens exploding. Do your homework. Watch Take Shelter.
Pox Eclipse.
Poxeclipse.
I'm gonna watch Beyond Thunderdome 9 times.
All three of my movies. Thunderdome.
Beyond Thunderdome.
Oh, thank you all for watching. You can find us at our usual locations over on Player FM, Libsyn, the Facebook page, and our YouTube channel.
Scariest Hour, Friends of the Paranormal.
100%.
Get at it.
This has been Matt.
And Zach.